All right. Make sure this volume turned up. Hold on. Okay. We are back for our final broadcast in the Counselor's Corner for the year 2023. I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the Controversial Counselor. Joining me is my co host, the Big Bad Wolf, Herb Lewis.
Oh.
So, tonight, if you have something on your mind and would like to join the panel, feel free to reach out and we look forward to having you. Recap from this past Monday's broadcast: the relationship between fathers and sons. Please go back and listen to the replay of the Controversial Counselor YouTube channel. Also, we have some YouTube shorts, Facebook Reels, TikTok shorts, and IG Reels circulating around regarding Monday's previous show. Well, let's look at some of the discussions we had in 2023. Man, this year just flew by. I guess when you get older, that's what happens. We started off the year talking about when parents fail their children, or can you be whole without a partner? What affects the manosphere? What effects has the manosphere had on romantic relationships and body shaming and modesty in dressing? Is there a misunderstanding or problem? We had numerous interviews with people such as Dr. Quickless, a dentist. I think is it like St. Louis? Somewhere in that area.
Yes, it
Tony,
was. Yeah.
yeah, Tony Riley, educator, Niagara Falls, Atlanta, D.C. He's originally from Niagara Falls. He's back in Atlanta now. Brian Archie, city council elect in Niagara Falls, an entrepreneur, executive director of Pure, fashion designer Fonz Carter, and we still need to line up for the rescheduled interview with comedian Black Ernie. We closed out the year discussing our man capable to have our man capping to have sex, or our women being delusional. Mothers' manipulation of their sons. How does fathers manipulate their daughters? And once again, relationships between fathers and sons. And a whole bunch of great content in between. So stay locked in for 2024 because we plan to take it there with highly impactful content, and it may have some of you curled up in a fetal position.
Oh, do
It's that
believe
time.
that.
It's that time. I've been
Yes, sir.
slapping y'all on the wrist trying to be nice, but last night y'all was trying to get me going. So I'll talk about that shortly. So please like and share our video, and come on, folks. 7 subs away from 800. We had no movement this past week. Let's pick up this 7 before the new year. So here we are. And
That's a list.
December's
Excellent. That's a hell of a
December's
list.
winding down. Got a few more days till we go on our little short break. I don't know, about 10 days off, but I'll take it. And then soon, shortly after that, it'll be the new year,
Hmm.
2024. And, as I just was saying, like time go by fast. They used to say when you're having fun. Not
Yes.
everything's been fun, but it's still just flying by no matter what. So we're here, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of more about one of the discussions I had posted yesterday, and kind of break down something to people because they just have no understanding. They just be talking JBT. But on the other note, what's good with you, Herb?
Aside from Dallas getting crushed yesterday, I'm still trying to reconcile that, man. It's like having having your favorite meal only to have somebody drop it on you. I don't know. But putting together the outline for the gentleman's program, I see some things in it that I really like. Of course, something of this undertaking is going to require some work. Also, putting together my personal I don't want to say eating, but personal goals I have for next year in terms of investing. I personally am looking to purchase at least 50 shares of stock by the end of next year, and I think that's going to start part of my portfolio investment. As I move forward, because I'm trying to plan for retirement. Got some other things that I need to get out the way. Pitched the play, I shouldn't say, pitched a movie to a friend of mine who's a producer writer. So we'll see how that comes along. And there's a lot of things I got on the stove that I need to start cooking, especially with the 100 Questions book. That should have been done already. That should have been on the presses, getting ready to be put out. So I'll be busy over the next couple of weeks. So, while we may not be here, there'll be some behind the scenes work going on. You can believe that. And book lists, I need to start purchasing books so at least so I can read them, so I can bring them to discussion here, so we can expand the nuanced parts of the discussions that are missing when we discuss some of the topics. We try and get as deep as we can, but the books, that I hear talked about, that I write down, are hopefully, they'll bring a greater understanding to why some of the things are the way they are in America and abroad. So we'll see how that goes.
Willie A. Price was good, brother.
I must really be bored or some shit.
Wow.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
Man, shit. Trying to finish up this year. And I was sitting there, I said, let me tell Dave, let me come on the show tonight so I can get in some trouble.
Hey, man. We like
What's
trouble.
up, Big Bad Wolf?
That's what they want.
Man, just talking about how Dallas got smacked around yesterday, man.
Man, please. That's how they do, though. Buffalo will play when you least expect them to play. But Dallas played really bad, though.
Well, there's two things of that. One, they showed an interesting stat that I really wasn't that aware of. I knew how well Dallas played at home.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how badly they played on the road. And it's very similar. Buffalo is the same thing.
They play bad on the road?
Yes. Despite them playing, their production, their offensive production on the road isn't what it is at home. Despite
they was pumping up Josh Allen, and he only had 94 yards.
And that's the thing. And this is what people didn't understand. The commentator had made a comment about how Dallas's defense is constructed to stop the pass.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that knows how to defend against the great pass rusher is you run the ball at him, or you double team and you run the ball. That's what Buffalo did to neutralize Dallas's pass rush.
Yeah.
Because I was having this discussion with my brother.
Yeah, because
Allen
he had 140, 150 yards.
Allen had 96 yards throwing.
No, I mean, Cook. How many yards did Cook have?
Cook had 172 yards. Yeah,
172. Okay, I knew it was like 100 something.
Yeah, 172, 7.2 yards per carry.
Damn.
But this is the thing: when you're being beat with the run game in football, there's a few adjustments that you can make. Dallas didn't make any. You can do what they call run gap football, which you don't play head up. This gets into the nuance of football. There's called the 0-1 and 2-3 tech. 0-1.
I have no clue.
No, yeah, and I know that 0-1, 2, and a 3 technique that linemen can play, and that just means where you line up in relation to the offensive player you're facing. 3 technique you can play in the gap. Anybody. You walk another linebacker down so you can't double team, because that's what they were doing to Parsons. So all you have to do is beat the man in front of you, and you can disrupt the running play.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can blitz a DB off of the edge. If you look at the vast majority of Cook's runs, they were sweeps. That's how they were beating Dallas. They were getting on the edge. They had the numbers, and he was breaking down. That does not diminish what Cook did running the ball, because there were some holes that other backs wouldn't have seen because they don't have the vision.
Mm-hmm.
So I seen some things in there. I was like, okay, now they're dedicated to running the ball. But what happens when a defensive coordinator says, okay, this is what y'all gonna do? I'm gonna make Allen beat me. I'm gonna double Cook, and I'm gonna rotate coverage towards Diggs, because Buffalo had like 3 drop passes yesterday, including one Cook probably could have scored on.
Yeah, I saw they were doing something.
Yeah. So, you know, and then there was a handful of plays that literally that game came down to a handful of plays, and I'll run them down real quick.
Man, this ain't no football show, man. I didn't come on
They
here.
just got their ass whooped, man. Let it
Thank
go.
you. Thank you. They gotta explain. I know the
They
ass
just got
whooping
their
look
ass
like
whooped.
they ain't gotta explain no ass
Yeah.
whooping.
There's no need to break it down. They got their ass whooped. The 3
I'm
plays
here to
you
talk about some chicken heads and some Cadillacs.
Yeah.
I'm here to talk about some chicken heads. Y'all ain't got no chicken heads on the show tonight.
No, they have sought sanctuary in their nest, shall we say?
Is that what they doing?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, man! I said, let me go on here. And
So
see
what's
what
new
these
with you,
guys-
Willie?
Man, I'm doing a little bit of everything. I just finishing up this week. I've been working on some programs with. I've been working with helping out this housing agency. They've been funding some homeowners, helping them to rehab their homes, and so I went and been helping them modify the homes. I inspect and write up the work need to be done, and then I monitor the contractor. So we're finishing up that right now, and then I just got into something called CAPS, which is Certified Aging in Place Specialist, where I'm working with seniors who, you know, instead of going into a nursing home, I go in and I write up the things that need to be done in order for them to stay in age and place in their homes.
Seems to be making posts about
73 million clients I have.
Who?
73 million. That's what they told me. I'm the only CAPS and universal design rehab specialist in the country.
Oh, damn. Wow.
I guess
So
once you get that program popping, you'll be all right.
Yeah. So now it's just doing awareness now. And just, you know, because a lot of people have never heard of a CAPS or universal design. UB just started teaching a course on it. And HUD just put out a grant where you could get up to $1 million to help modify senior homes, grab bars, you know, roll-in showers, different things to help them to age in place in their home. It's called Aging in Place. And there's money out there available for it, but I'm trying to work with Medicaid, because Medicaid will pay and put a person in a nursing home, but they won't help fix up their home so they don't have to go into a nursing home, which is a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I never understood that. That you know, that speaks to the larger way that our government operates.
Yeah.
They engage in wasteful spending.
So that's why I'm trying to do awareness the next couple of months, and working with some doctors who work with seniors, working with people. And when I say seniors, I'm talking about people who are actually just 50 years old, 50, 55 years old. Because as you get into those ages, you buy what you got a lot of people 30, 40 years old buying homes. Okay. And they say, I want to buy a home where I can retire.
Mm-hmm.
But you buy a home 30, 40 years old, and then 30 years from now, you're what, 70?
Mm-hmm.
But your home is not set up for you to age in place in that home.
That's what people, and I was just talking about buying stocks and setting myself up for retirement. I think that's something that people need to keep in mind, is that we need to start moving in that direction.
Right.
Especially Gen Xers, you know.
And so that's why I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm doing awareness. A couple of people asked me to do inspections. I don't even want to do inspections on it right now. I just want to do awareness to make, especially our people, aware. You know, we get to a point, I see a lot of young people buying homes, you know, 20, 30 years old, they're buying a home, but then they're not buying it with the idea of, okay, I want to grow old in this house. But the house is set up where it's, you know, it's nice, modernized house, but it's not set up for them to age in the house.
Yeah.
And there's things you can do. You don't have to put up grab bars or things like that, but what you do is you reinforce the walls. You make sure the walls are wider. You make sure the floors are flat. If you're living in the second floor, make it where you can at least eventually have a bedroom on the first floor. You know what I mean? So there's the things that you can do, and that's what my role is, to show them how to do those things, so that way they can age in place in that home versus going into a nursing home.
And I think something else, that's very understated is that physical fitness, which is something you've always preached, goes a very long way towards making sure that when you age in place, you don't need a lot of that stuff, because a lot of people become sedentary when they age, because they say, you still doing this? I said, yes. I still play basketball. I still bike ride. I still rollerblade. I do all the stuff I did when I was 20.
The more you do, I just had a conversation today with some young people. I do a mentoring program on Mondays, and I was talking about. I said, "There's a saying that if you don't use it, you lose it," and that's what happens as we get older. We fall and hurt ourselves, and now we're not getting up walking anymore. All those things. What my specialty is in this field is called without urgent need. That's what I do. So it's people who are getting older. I don't want to work with people who are, paraplegics and, all those kind of things, because it's too much you got to do with that. And that's not really serving the population that needs to, because you know how much it costs to live in a nursing home? $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month.
You know what? And the funny thing to that, I saw, now I don't know how accurate the story is. There was a couple who booked cruises.
Cruises, yeah.
As opposed to going into a nursing home. I said, that is
they book cruises and they cruise all year round.
Yep.
And then when they're not cruising, they stay maybe in a hotel for a couple of weeks or something like that, or rent Airbnb, and then they go back on the cruise. I was just reading that article also.
I said,
and
wow.
That's been going on for a while, because what they found is it's cheaper to do that than it is to live in a nursing home. And when you live in a nursing home, they take your income.
Right.
They take your savings. They take all your money that you've been saving to retire, and they take that money so you can live in that nursing home.
Yep.
So that's what I've been working on. Actually, someone told me about it. So I started taking the first class in, I think it was September. And it was 3 classes I had to take. I took those, and then the instructor suggested I take this course called Universal Design. And universal design is where anybody can live in a house. So you got like you go in the bathrooms, and they got the motion showers and the motion air. That's all universal design. That means anybody can use it. So what I do now is I'm working with families where I can go in. If the person is living with their family, I can make the house where it's universal design, where anybody can use it, but then special areas where the older person is, you can set up some things for aging in place. So, I mean, like I said, I'm the only universal design, only CAPS and universal design rehab specialist in the country.
Congratulations on that. That's big.
Thank you. So I'm really pushing some things, working with AARP for New York State. It's wide open. Because everywhere I mention it, nobody's ever heard of. But when I talk about it, then they realize that what it is and what's needed with it. And HUD, like I said, just put out a grant for it. It closes tomorrow. I think it is the 19th. They put out a grant where they're giving out up to $1 million to different organizations to do aging in place. So it's starting to become more of a thing, but it's just right now, especially up this way in New York State, people don't really hear about it and know about it, but it's needed.
Especially with the boomers, aging in the manner that they are. Absolutely.
Once you hit your 50s, you're starting to look where, okay, I want to live in my home. I want to live and not go into a nursing home. You know what I mean? That's not their goal, to go into a nursing home. They want to live in that home where they are. But now my role is to come out and show them what needs to be done to either prepare the home or to modify the home so they can stay there into their old age. I'm the only one in this country.
I'm fortunate enough, to this house will be easy because of the vastness of this house. if something happens to befall me where I need to have wheelchair access or anything like that to have the shower equipment, my house is big enough to where I can do that. Literally, I can walk a wheelchair into my bathroom, put it in the bathroom, and still have room to maneuver.
Yeah,
very
but
easy.
see, but what you also have, you got to realize now, you have a lot of people with these motorized wheelchairs, and those wheelchairs weigh a lot more than a regular wheelchair.
No, trust me. When I say
Yeah.
this house is
So-
equipped for it, this house is equipped.
But your floors aren't equipped for motorized wheelchair.
I can assure you that they are.
Okay, all right, okay.
I can assure you.
Trust me. Structure wise, your floors aren't made for it.
I can
That's all floors. That's all floors, unless you built it with the premise of the reinforced floors and the brackets in the basement and all that stuff. Which your house is it? Because your house wasn't built with that situation in mind. That's all.
No, I
homes.
understand what you're saying.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It's all homes. So that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm doing this awareness, because like people like yourself, you might say, "Well, my house is sturdy and strong," but then the thing is, you put a motorized wheelchair, 1,200 pounds, plus your weight in that chair. Those motorized wheelchairs are heavy as hell.
That's a ton.
Depending on how much you weigh, you have to get a motorized wheelchair that can move you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
So if you weigh 250, you need a motorized chair that can, with a battery power, that's going to be able to take you for 2 or 3, 4 hours. That you're talking about a heavy chair. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
11, 12, 1,300 pounds plus your that's 1,500 pounds rolling around on your floors through your house.
Well,
so that's why the floors have to be reinforced.
That's why I was talking about the physical fitness component, because I can understand that, people need those for, if they're not amiable,
right,
geez, for long periods of time. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
so that's what I've been doing. That's the main thing I've been doing, and just working with my kids. I'm expanding my track program. We're doing a program starting in March at the Packard Court called Youth Development and Fitness Program, where we're going to be doing a half hour of fitness, physical, personal, financial development, self-awareness, relationship building, those kind of activities, hygiene, nutrition. And then the next 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to do track and field activities and helping kids to combat childhood obesity. So we're going to be doing that starting in March. And then in April, we do our family fitness for 6 weeks. And then that goes right into our track and field program. So it's going to be a long year.
That was called getting outside and playing when we were their age.
Yeah, they don't. And so that's why I've been able to get some really good support. Niagara Falls Police Department joined us last year. I invited them out. You guys ever heard of National Night Out?
Yeah.
Where they bring the police to the community, to like block clubs, and you network with the police and try to build camaraderie with the police and the kids, so the kids get familiar with the police. Well, I was trying to do something in Niagara Falls with the block clubs, and they wouldn't do it. So I contacted National Night Out and said, I want to do a National Night Out track and field meet.
What block clubs did you contact? What block clubs did you contact?
What is it? Garden Center. The block clubs. This is Niagara Falls.
Well, no, because I know the president of a block club.
But they didn't even do anything this year. They didn't want to do what I was doing, and then they didn't do anything. So I like I said, I reached out to National Night Out and then contacted Niagara Falls Police Department and different people and the mayor. And I said, this is what I want to do. I want to do a National Night Out youth development track meet. I want the police to come out, meet the kids, talk to them, give out awards as the kids run their races. And it's a free track meet. Have them just come out and meet. So the police came out, they set up a tent, had water and giveaways. But then what I did was I said, hey, the kids are going to warm up. Why don't you warm up with the kids? So they warmed up with the kids and they was out there stretching. So the kids, it was really great. The kids were out in the field. The police were out there with them stretching, and the kids are looking at them, because they like see a police officer out there stretching with them and doing exercises. And so when we got ready to introduce the events for the night, I said, and our final event is going to be a special sprint medley relay. And we're asking our Niagara Falls Police Department to run on it. The second 100 leg of we're 100, 100, 200, and 400. And we're asking Niagara Falls Police to run on the second leg of the 100 for each team. And they first looked at each other like, wait a minute, nobody told us we were going to run. But then they jumped right in and they did it. And when I say that was the highlight of that event, where parents and the kids and the police were all like cheering each other and, you know, and meeting each other. And it was so enlightening for everybody that the chief came to me afterwards and said, we want to do this with you every year. We've been trying to do stuff with Niagara Falls kids and nobody ever invites us to do it. So we want to do this with you every year. Just let us know what we need to do. And so that's what we're doing now.
It behooves any police department, I don't care if it's Niagara Falls, New York City, Los Angeles, to get to the kids early.
Well, and they try to, but nobody ever, and that's what he said, nobody invites them, or, you know what I mean? Nobody invites them.
It's always going to be the parents. Case in point.
And so what it was I, like I said, I even reached out to the block clubs and they didn't even want to do anything with me. They didn't want to do anything with me. When I went to the National Night Out last year, there was no kids there. I'm like, wait a minute, isn't it supposed to be so the kids can meet and, you know, socialize with the police? There was no kids there. There was all parents and politicians walking around shaking hands and, you know, profiling. And I said, you know what? Okay. I said, I want to do something. So that I just put it together, and I put it together in a week. Which was really, that's what was really crazy about it, because I was actually supposed to be doing something in Buffalo with the kids and decided to keep that there and do it in Niagara Falls. And I notified everybody. Mayor Restaino came out, the police officers came out, and then next year they said they're going to be my liaison to the other law enforcement, the sheriff and other, you know, the people who normally go to National Night Out. They're going to reach out to those officers and fire department and whoever, and they're going to be the liaison to bring those guys. And with our family fitness that we're going to be doing in April, they're going to be bringing their families to family fitness along with the community families. See what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. So that's what I'm doing, is trying to create that collaboration where these officers and their families and the kids and their families can get together and meet each other and socialize and get to know each other.
And the hidden gem behind this is this, and that's what these parents really, really don't understand. There's all this talk, and this talk has been going on for years, about not having enough financially secure black men. What jobs pay well in this area? Jobs?
Fire, police, street workers. But again, because you make the police out to be bad guys, they're not all bad. You know, you make the fire department to be where you don't even know. You only have one black person, I think it was actually two black people in the fire department that I know of. There's actually a black young lady she was a police officer, and she left the police department and became a firefighter. Now, I don't know what was behind that she switched.
I only know of one, I only know of one brother on the force.
Well, there's a brother on the force, but then this young lady, she was a police officer. And now she's a firefighter. She's on the fire department. She left the police department and went to the fire department. So being able to see those people and meet those people in a social setting, now you got a kid that may say, you know, I want to be I can be a police officer. I can be a firefighter. I can be an FBI. I can be a sheriff. Because right now, when they see them, all they do is kind of step back because they're afraid, you know, from what they see on television.
Yeah, they've been sold. Yeah, they've been sold numerous and erroneous images and
all about being abused and arrested, and you know all the abusiveness. But like I said, we had officers out there, man. It was about 9 or 10 police officers out there, and the chief of police for Niagara Falls came out. And when I say he came to me and said, this was amazing. Even the parents were like, you know, saying how good it was, because like I said, the kids, they're running relays with the kids. They're stretching with the kids. They're exercising. The kids are looking at them because, you know, they ain't never seen a police officer out there exercising and talking to them and playing with them and, you know, helping them tie their shoes and all the things that, you know, they never would have even imagined. And to have all that going on right here in Niagara Falls. And when I contact National Night Out and I sent them the information and pictures and things of what we did, they contacted me. They said, we've never had anybody do a track meet before. They do block clubs, block parties and, maybe a bowling party or something like that, but never a track meet. And so they would like, anything we can do to help you promote it. And I said, basically just do that, help us promote it, and maybe even encourage other areas to do it, because the event was free. Project Play of Western New York, they co-sponsored it with us up in Niagara Falls. And so they paid for us to get some things. And then I actually ordered medals to give out at the track meet. So I ordered, because they give us like these rubber band bracelets. So we gave out rubber band bracelets, but I ordered medals. So first, second, and third place got medals. And then fourth through eighth place got ribbons. So every kid got something, no matter what event they did and how many events they did. So you had kids with rubber band bracelets, you had kids with medals, you had kids with ribbons, and we did a lot of pictures with the officers. And like I said, they really had a nice time. And so that's what it was all about, is just, creating some kind of collaboration and communication between the kids and letting them see, and meet officers that are out in the community. So next year, like I said, they're going to be recruiting the FBI and the sheriff, all the people who normally go to the other one. They're going to recruit some of them to come to our National Night Out.
Good. Anytime you can get community and people working together, and
exactly,
it means a lot, and it adds more value instead of one person trying to do it all. Might as well bring everybody.
I'm trying to get a committee together, because we're going to actually do a National Night Out international track meet the following Saturday, because National Night Out is always on the first Tuesday in August. And then that following Saturday, we're going to do a National Night Out international track and field meet, invitational track meet. Kids from all over the country are going to be coming to that on August the 10th in Niagara Falls. And that's going to be our first year doing that. And so I have a timing company that said they would do it for cost for us. They've been trying to do some things in Niagara Falls. They said they would do it for cost for us. So just paying for the equipment, and they would do it just, to help us get that first one going. And then I've talked to some coaches and some other people who are going to help us to put it together. I even talked to the old coach who retired from Niagara Falls, Coach Robbins, who allowed me to coach at Niagara Falls High School with the girls. Talked to him and some other coaches and from other schools as well to come out and help us and help us to put on this meet on the 10th of August, because again, it's going to be international. If it's like anything like the one we just did in Toronto, 1,093 kids were at that meet. Yeah,
that's Olympic size.
Yeah, I took my club up there to that, and I had the top 400-meter runner who went to state meet, and top triple jumper girl, and number 2 in the shot put girl. And when they went there, they saw kids who were going out for their national teams, and they were in shock. My 400 guy, who was, like I said, number 1 in Western New York, he got there, and I saw the standing. He got there, out of 28 runners, he was ranked number 25.
That's when the realization
exactly
hits them that
exactly. He said,
"Why there's people out here who pick him up and put him down."
He said, "Why didn't you tell me?" I said, "Because if I'd have told you, you wouldn't have came."
Right.
And he ended up PRing too. He ended up PR because he knew he had to run.
Right, but that's what people. That's where people like your best times are going to come out of invitations for people who never run.
And so next year we're actually getting some sponsors now, because we're trying to get a van. I was only able to take 10 kids because we didn't have enough transportation, and so we're trying to buy a van this year. I found 2 vans. One is a 16 passenger and one is a 18 passenger. Those band buses type things. So I'm looking at trying to get some sponsors to help us buy one of those. And then that way we can take, 15, 20 kids to Niagara Falls, plus a couple parents drive. And then we stay over, that's all included. We stay over, and because the meet is actually 3 days, but we stay for 2. And we go that Friday, we go Saturday and Sunday. We stay there, and the kids have a great time, meet kids from all over the world, and they compete. And out of 2018s, we came in. Out of 2016s, we came in 6th place.
Yeah.
And I only had 10 kids.
Multiple events.
So if we get some more next year. So that's what I've been up to, Mr. Dave. I've been busy.
A lot going on.
But I'm here to talk about the ladies. Where the ladies at?
Nah, they not here. We got to draw them out. But we gonna have some conversations, and I'm gonna start off with yesterday. And I think Willie, you was on that stat when I had bitch shit about these women going out 4 or 5 Thursday through Sunday, shit. Pretty much 7 to 1 2, and everybody, they're coming for me, saying that, oh, why are you judging people? You don't know why they go. Like you said, they're irrational. Come up with anything.
The irrationals come out.
Like, are y'all kidding me? Like, and some of these people are like nurses and stuff, and they're like, well, you don't know the reason why they go out. That can't be healthy when you're 40 or 50 years old and you out 4 or 5 hours drinking, and they're like, why are you judging? And I'm like, I'm so over that word that,
whenever they don't like the conversation, you're judging, or
how I would answer that question?
Misogynist or some nonsense, something they don't even know what it means, but they'll throw the word out there because they heard it a few times.
Yeah, because it's trendy. The old trend of like, don't judge me, but everybody judge. Everybody judge. Yep. Like when you form of opinion of something that you don't have facts on, 100% facts, you're judging or coming up with your own opinion. But they go right over their head, and I'm like, I can go to any of y'all pages, and y'all, it's something y'all done judged about. But yeah, they were tight about that, man. And I'm like, just think about it, because there's like,
but the truth again. We always true are what bothers them is, and now if you just was talking, or you talking about the guys, guys doing something, against the women, they love that. But as soon as you mention something that about a woman or doing the right thing, or then please don't get on there talking about no weight. Because you get on talking about weight and body sizes, man, you about to be banned off social media.
Well, that only affects one group of women.
Well, nowadays it's affecting a lot of them because, man, I'm trying to tell you.
Not per capita.
Well, in this capital up in this area, it's a lot.
Well, yes, because a lot of people tend to work out less in colder climates. So if you go, and it's funny, I had this young lady on my friends list who just relocated to Florida, and she's talking about a healthy diet because it's always bikini weather.
Because now you look around and nobody's looking like you. That's what it is. It's not so much the bikini weather. You're looking around and your ass walking around with a double chin, and everybody.
It's true, absolutely.
And everybody else walking around with bikinis, and you got on a 2-piece. They got on a 2-piece. You got on a 1-piece. That barely, So I mean, it's your environment. That's right. It is your environment because that's going to influence you to do better. Whereas if you hear, everybody looks the same. And when a guy, if you're here and everywhere you go, you see big women or big men, after a while, you start looking for the best looking big woman and the best looking big man. It's not so much now you're looking for that fine chick, that fine chick with the nice body and no kids. All that stuff is a rarity, especially in this area. I've met so many people, women with 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, and then you got guys with 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. Everybody got kids. Everybody got babies. So I mean, you got all that. The source of the income level. The average income, the median income for Western New York is $24,000. I just did a study on it like a couple months ago because I was talking about it. $24,000, but Cleveland is 23. The median income, and you got these chicken heads running around here talking about they want a man making 100,000. Where? Where you gonna meet a man making 100,000 and the ones that's making 100,000 not thinking about you? You making nothing, making noise.
That's something we'll get into next year.
Let's get into it.
Oh, do believe
Let's
there's
get into it. Because
there's
I'm
some
telling you,
things.
it drives me crazy that I watch these videos and these women talk about I want a man making 6 figures. And then he asks them how much they making. And well, it don't matter how much I make. Why? Why? You're right, Doug, in Buffalo. That's what I said in Buffalo. $24,000 is the
because
median average.
as far as women go, and this is Western culture, their income doesn't matter.
It does. That's what they think. And
No,
for most
no,
men,
that's how
most
they
men-
live.
Yeah, but
That's
for
how they
most
live.
men, we don't look at a woman's income when we look at a woman. You know, they look at our income. Well, how much you making? What do you do for a living? When the guy meets a woman, he's not, he's not judging her based on her income because we've dated the girl, the cute looking girl that was the restaurant waitress. You know what I mean? It's all about what appeals to our eye. A man is about an eye. A woman is about financial and physical things, security, what she thinks is security.
But they
then
tend
the
to
thing
call
is-
us shallow. They tend to say men are shallow
Men are
and
shallow because we want certain things, but we want, like I said, I was talking about it earlier today. I said we want it ain't even got to be that fit, but at least healthy, fit, feminine, and
Something I was just talking
cooperative.
about earlier.
Fit, feminine, and cooperative. I don't want to come home every day got to argue with you about nothing. I don't have to argue with you about nothing. We can't have a decent conversation and be able to go out and enjoy ourselves. And when I come home, I'm looking at you, and I'm going out and I'm looking at you versus having to look around and seeing what else is in the room because you're sitting there stuffing your face and double chins and all kind of,
And them
nonsense.
headshots.
I just got to a conversation with this young lady yesterday or today, talking about the headshots. Because she was posting them headshots. And I already know, because I done seen a few of her pictures and them joints. Headshots can be deceiving. And she's a very cute in the face and big in the waist.
well, they tend to say we can't take shots. And even that post I posted about, they were like, with David, how could you say that? Because I said, you go out that much, you wonder why you look 10 years older than what
Right.
you. All right,
Right.
when you drinking heavy every 4 or 5 times a week,
Yep.
it takes its toll on you.
Alcohol
But-
is bad on
yeah.
your body, period.
Yep.
Yeah, but they weren't trying to check for that. And then the one young lady, she might be listening or whatever the case is, and she was like, well, I remember on the show someone said you look older than what you are. I said, I don't know, because I got the gray in the beard. If I just shave this
Right,
down
that
and just had
changes
a
a
goatee,
That
that'll
changes a
take
lot.
that off. But I'm not doing that, and I'm not running from the fact. But it's a difference of when you look, your skin is all jacked up, and
Yep.
you look all old, and your teeth is
all
decaying from
missing.
drinking so much,
Yep.
from drinking and smoking and all that. That's a different story. But of course, like you said, they justify and rationalize for whatever situation they can. Instead of saying, I want no parts of this. This don't pertain to me. They had to include themselves in it.
They started throwing stones and wanna misdirect and call names and you're a woman hater or you're a misogynist or whatever the case may be. And they throw that word out there. If you ask them what it means, it don't matter what it means. No, it does. If you're using the word, you should be able to know what it means and how it applies.
It's called sign language, or as my man added to his signal language, which stands for shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right, attacking, and lying.
And they do a lot of attacking. I got attacked. That man, I'll tell you a real quick story. I went out because like I was on my page.
Hold on, this is a Willie's moment because I can pull that up. I still got it on you.
Well, no, I'll just go real quick though. But somebody actually put something in my drink over Facebook. I went to the bath. I was with some friends, and I thought my friend was watching my drink. And I told him, I said, watch my drink. I'm going to the bathroom. And when I came back, he was sitting by my drink, but he was turned to the right talking to somebody. It wasn't watching it.
Yeah.
And somebody put something in my drink that fast over Facebook.
So
they just carry around shit and put it in people's drinks like that.
Put some shit in my drink, man. And it took me literally when I stood up, I felt it. And I didn't drink that much of the drink because when I realized he wasn't, once I sipped it, I drank some. But then I realized he wasn't watching. I said, this drink don't taste right. So I put it down. But when I sat down and when I went to get back up, I knew. I said, somebody put something in my drink. I felt it because I hadn't been drinking that much. And when I got out to my car, I actually sat in my car for a half hour. It literally took me from Oak Room to get home to Niagara Falls. It took me 3 hours, and I was driving and was about to head to Rochester. I didn't know where I was. I was on the highway on the 190 driving and didn't realize where I was. And I was about to get on the Rochester exit to go to Rochester. I had no clue where I was.
There's a young brother
to get home. 3
that
hours
I know that had something similar happen, and this was some years ago, which is probably one of the reasons why when I do go out, I don't drink.
Yeah, I don't either. Unless if I do drink, I keep the drink right there and I drink it, and then that's it. I don't leave it. I don't put it down. Nothing.
And the funny thing about that is people think I'm weird or crazy or thinking the worst things. And I tell people, I'm on Facebook. I have family members on my friends list who I don't acknowledge as my family because I don't want people attacking my family over something that I
some nonsense on Facebook. Yeah,
and
they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what I tell people is this: if you come for mine, you can't hide. I'm gonna find you, and not only that, we gonna find you. And when I say we, do trust and believe, we have the assets to find your ass, whether you hide on the street or you hide legally. And believe me when I say it, I mean we got the assets. So fuck around and find out.
Exactly. So I even have a friend of mine who I was talking to, and I told her like I would never post any pictures of us together because I didn't want anybody attacking her business and what she was doing based on her association with me. So I had cut that right out.
People think and see, this is the funny thing when I talk about the NDAs, people think I'm tripping. And for anybody that doesn't know, NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. Whoever I do anything with, it doesn't hit social media. We can take pictures, but them shits better never hit social media. Somebody asked you, hey,
I don't post any I wouldn't post any pictures of me and her out. And we were doing a lot of things. We were hanging out and doing different things and having a nice time. But I would post, I would take pictures and I would send them to her. And then she would just post pictures of her doing, her at the event. And I would post pictures of me at the event. But we never post the pictures that we took together. We just kept those to ourselves. But it's sad that you got to do that.
Nah, man.
But I told her, I said, the way people act about me, I said, I would hate for them to try to go after your business and tell people not to use your business because you're associating with me. And people do that nonsense.
They're out there.
It's unfortunate that
it is over social media, which is ridiculous.
Yep, they will do it, and it's really it's pathetic. That lets you know that people don't have anything going on in their life that's noteworthy.
That's right.
Because if you got
social media, some people that's their life is social media. That's their life, social media. And I'm like, man, please. I got too much to do. Too much chicken heads. Too many chicken heads out here.
And they don't understand, and they look at it as, some of them they're just on there to be nosy, just strolling, and they're like, well, you're on there all the time. I'm putting out content. I'm just not here just to be on here, just to see what somebody else is doing. I may barely ever go to anybody else's page like that. It comes across my timeline, but y'all going on people's pages, and it's y'all normal routine, whatever. For what? For what?
Because they have no life.
Yeah.
They have no life. I had a woman that was following me on Facebook, coming any group that I went in, she would come in there. Don't talk to him. He talking back about black women. He black women fat bashing. He was this, that, and the other. And then when she would see me out in public, she would confront me. You should see what he put on Facebook. I mean, right out of I was like, get away from me.
Better you than me, because they would block me. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you about me. I'm
I
a
was like, are
headshot.
you
When
kidding
it
me?
when it
This,
when it
I
comes
mean,
to
but she
shooting,
would literally
I'm
follow me
headshots.
around that room. I went to an event for a going away party, and she followed me around the, and the person who was going away finally went to her and said, don't come to my event doing that. Don't be harassing my guests over some social media nonsense. That's
Listen,
how bad this person was, man.
I would have roasted that chick so badly she'd have been happy to get away from me. I
Oh,
am not the one.
She from the streets. And I went to
No,
I
that's
went to
what
a
she built up
restaurant.
to.
I was at a restaurant and she was there, and I met a girl at the restaurant. We was just sitting there talking at the bar, and when the girl got up and went to the bathroom, she went in the bathroom and told the girl. I don't know what she told the girl, but when the girl came out the bathroom, she stopped speaking to me, wouldn't talk to me, didn't want me to sit next to her. I mean, it was crazy, man. I said, this chick is
Hold on, wait a minute.
freaking mind.
Did you make her pay her half?
No, we had just met at the bar. She was just sitting at the bar, and I was sitting there talking
Okay.
to her.
Okay.
And we just started hitting it off, just laughing and talking. And when she got up and went to the bathroom, the chick went in the bathroom with her, went behind her, and went in there. And when she came out, the girl wouldn't say 2 words to me, man. I was like, let me walk you to your car. She was like, no, that's okay. You don't have to walk me to my car. You know what I mean? A whole different mindset. It was earlier when we were talking earlier, was talking about getting together, doing some things, going for coffee. And when she came out that bathroom, man.
You know how that conversation went. Like,
oh,
you
yeah.
Don't know. You better be
You don't
careful.
want to mess with him.
Yeah.
He be fat bashing.
Yeah.
He be talking about black women.
She probably went as far as pulling up one of your posts or whatever.
I wouldn't put it past her. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
put it past her because,
Yeah.
like I said, she walked around at this girl's away party doing, and he'd be on Facebook and she was pulling up and just acting. And the girl was like, "Don't do that at my party. This is not a Facebook party. This is not, don't be doing that crap." Like I said, man, it's been an interesting 2023. Very interesting. But I keep my head down and I do my programs and I work with my kids and enjoy life. I did my mentorship program today, and today was our last day for the for the break.
Right, yeah.
And I've been working with these boys the last 5 weeks, and it was really interesting. I went down to watch them play basketball after the program, and when they were finishing up, I was saying, all right, you guys have a great holiday and this, that, and the other. And the one kid who I've always talked to him and make little jokes with him and stuff because he's real quiet and stuff, walked up and hugged me. And it threw me off because this kid always just kind of kept to himself, sat back and kept to himself. He'll talk a little bit in the program and, do some of the activities, but never anything like that. And when I was saying, all right, you guys have a great holiday, Merry Christmas to everybody, he just walked up and just hugged me. And I was just like, wow. Because it made me realize that, I'm probably the only male role model that he sees and that talks to him and gives him positive, I'm always doing positive stuff with him. We do raffles. And tonight we actually I went to the PAL did a 5K run and I ended up winning a bunch of raffles at the 5K. And I won this bag full of games, of different games and all kind of games and activities. So what I did was I opened up the bag and I did a raffle with the kids and raffled off all the games and activities that I won from the PAL. And so they really enjoyed that because now some of them have games and stuff that they probably wouldn't even had at home, for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that with them. I brought pizza in tonight with them. And we had pizza and apple juice and we played games and did our raffle and I give them copies. All the kids get a copy of my workbook. I have a workbook that's geared for middle school kids. And so each one gets a workbook and we went through the workbook and just reviewed what we've been doing in the program. That way they see how to use it. So like I said, I just do what I do, man.
I might have to get a hold of that copy of that workbook because I know I got to do some groups with these boys and girls.
Yeah, well, we do a boys and we do a girls workshop, but the one that's going to be in March at the Packard Court, that's going to be boys and girls, and it's called Youth Development and Fitness, and we're going to be doing, like I said, self-awareness, relationship building between boys and girls, and it's 10 years to 13-year-old, and it's free, They just have to get a $25 T-shirt, which just recognizes the program. And that's the only thing they got to pay. Everything else is paid for. And
What? You charging 25? Those parents gonna pay that 25?
well, if they want to be in this program, they will.
And I'm thinking the exact same thing.
Because you know what? I used to do free. I was doing free, but what I realized when you do free things, even for the community like that, they don't appreciate it. And when they do it, they'll come and take up spots, and then they stop coming because they haven't put anything into it. And so now a kid who wanted to be a part of it ended up not being able to get involved because we were filled.
Right.
And then this kid stops halfway through when this other kid could have still been participating.
And you got to hold the spot because you don't know if they're going to return.
Exactly. And so what we're going to do is this $25 T-shirt fee, and you get a program T-shirt. And we do this activity, like I said, it's an hour and a half, and it's first part is workshops, and then the last 45 minutes we do track and field activities, and all the stuff is geared towards childhood obesity. That's the whole premise of the program. That's what our funding is through for childhood obesity and working with kids to help them to get physically active. And so we use track and field as that means, because then, like I said, we go into the family fitness where then the entire family comes out and they work out with us, and we do track and field activities again, but we do yoga. We have a person come out and do Zumba and different things. And then that goes right into our track program. So we're constantly helping them to get ready to be able to participate in track and field, because we had a young lady, 12 years old, never did track before, and her dad called me and said, my daughter, she's 12, she's really heavy. We had to take her out of school because kids were picking on her. And I said, well, yeah, you could bring her out to the program. And he brought her, and she was trying to run and jump. She didn't want to do it. And I showed her the shot put, because the program is run, jump, and throw. Showed her the shot put. Now imagine how far she had to throw it that I turned to her and said, you want to go to Junior Olympics with us? And I end up teaching. I told her dad, I said, let me teach her. 4 weeks, taught her the shot put and the discus. First place in the discus, second place in the shot put, went to regionals, third place in the discus, fifth in the shot put, which qualified her for U.S. National Junior Olympics in Oregon. This was a kid who never did track and field before in their life.
What is the weight of the shot put for that age?
Do
you call it hand? Okay.
It's like 10, 12 pounds.
Okay.
What for you say shot put?
Yeah.
Like about 8, maybe 6, 8 pounds, something like that. So
I've never done it.
But those are the kind of things we do with kids that never did track, and they find some event that they enjoy doing, and then they come out and they do it and they participate, and then you see them years later still participating, still participate, still involved in it. And self-confidence is one of the things we do. We do a lot of stuff with self-esteem and self-confidence in our program through the activity of track and field, helping them to understand, find something that they're good at, and then showing them how to use that to move it into everything that they do in life.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, this was she's one of our big examples, because like I said, this young lady, her dad was like, we had to take her out of school because kids just picked on her, and she just sat around the house. She didn't do anything. And this kid is like a champion shot put and discus thrower.
And to me, that's a larger symptom of parents not monitoring what their kids eat, especially when they're younger, especially girls, because once girls get heavy, they tend to never lose that weight. It's tough for men.
Well, she toned up. She toned up because
well, yes, she has to.
Yeah, but see, before she had no reason to.
Right.
But now she has that motivation of throwing a shot. And like I said, to be standing on the podium, the number one in the association in the discus, when you just learned it. And then once she started to really learn it, and this year we had the number 2 high school discus thrower, and she was number 5, I think, in the shot, but she's a number 2 discus thrower from Niagara Wheatfield. She was on our team this year. Like I said, I had some of the top kids in Section 6 in our program this year. And my kids who participated last year recruited them because they came out, and two of my girls broke school records, went to the state meet in the long and triple jump in the 4x4 for Lockport. And then they recruited a bunch of kids from Lockport and Niagara Wheatfield. And we got kids from North Tonawanda. We got kids from all over Niagara.
One of the things, once kids find success in something, that changed up their whole thing. So it was easy for her to say, okay, I need to lose weight. I need to watch what I
right, because now she's got a reason to
now
do it.
She's like she feel like she's a champion.
There you go.
So she has to maintain it, and that always has to be the mindset with kids. Once
she's
feel
already
like champions,
good as, like an honor student. You know what I mean? She'd always had good grades, but she's just real quiet. And because she was such a big girl, the kids picked on her because she was a big, big quiet girl, huh?
Yeah, easy target.
Yeah, easy target because she didn't fight back. She didn't argue with the kids, but they ended up taking her out of school and moving her to a different school. But after that season, when they went to take her to the new school, they were still worried, of course, taking her to a new school because of that. And she was like, and they called me and they said, Coach Price, she was like, don't worry, Mom and Dad. I'm not scared of those kids. I'm not worried about them. And they were like, wait a minute, where does this little girl come from? Because you saw a new self-confidence in her abilities. And they sent me pictures of her and let me know how she's doing. And
she probably has more friends now.
Exactly.
And people gravitate toward her now.
All that is going on with her. And so that's why I said, and that's what we do in my program. That's what we consider success, are those kind of things. It's not the kid who gets first place in the track meet. It's the kid who came in not knowing much about track or even knowing a little bit about track, but finding ways to take that transition into the classroom, into life, and using track as that source of confidence. See, I have kids that call me right now. Kids that text me, like I said, they're at school and they'll text me like, Coach, I just ran in a meet, and this is what I did. Go look at my results, and this, that, and the other. And they contact me, kids from Niagara Wheatfield, North Tonawanda, parents contact me. I had a kid, he goes to, where does he go? I think he goes to Niagara Wheatfield too. And his mother is one of the coaches.
Okay.
And he came and joined the club. And I had the coach from Dieuville. He came over and was my throwers coach this year and taught the kids how to do the javelin. And her son went to Toronto and came in second place in the javelin throw. Never did javelin before in his life. And he went to an international meet and took second place in the javelin. You know what I mean? So, we've really starting to grow and bring some recognition to Niagara for track and field in the off season. So that's my way of just giving back and working with the kids. So we're going to get that van so that way we can take more kids to have that experience of meeting kids from all, like I said, over 1,093 kids at this track meet. Are you on there? You back and forth. I hear you.
I think he's looking at it now.
He went out for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't understand, while Dave's figuring it out, especially with track, success can't come quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, because I only ran track 1 year at LaSalle. I was too old to run my senior year. But when I started out versus when I finished with the 100-meter hurdles,
I
was running low 16s. And that
you ran the hurdles?
Yeah, 100 meters.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I hated the hurdles.
Yeah, I was running. I'm sorry, I said low 16s, low 14s. I was, I started out never having run them before. And I was running 14.2s at the end of the year. Now, another year, I'd have been down to 13 something.
Wow.
And for me, personally speaking, I was already athletic. That's how my coach recruited me. I was football coach. I was at the.
Did you play football?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Play football for LaSalle. And I happened to be,
I said, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I just happened to be after school one day doing something. I can't remember what it was. Coach came through and he was with my boy James George. And he said, hey Herb, can you test the room? I said, come on, coach. What kind of question is that? He said, come on. I said, all right. I didn't ask where we were going. I didn't ask what we were doing. Next thing I know, I was running track.
Wow.
Just
Well,
like
that's
that.
what I've been trying. I've been trying to recruit the high school football kids, from Niagara Falls High School.
Mhm.
And most of my kids are from outside of Niagara Falls. Most of them Niagara Wheatfield, North Tonawanda, Lockport. I get a lot of Lockport kids. I had a couple Buffalo kids, but very few Niagara Falls kids. My younger program, now we have a youth program, which is our 13 and under. I got a 5-year-old that'll blow you away. But that program is free. That program is free. They just have to pay for their T-shirt, and that program is free. And my elite club, that's the club I was talking about. We take to Toronto. We just started that program about 3 years ago, right after the pandemic. We started what is called the Elite Club, and that club is only $150. And we take kids to track meets all over. We've been invited to the Bahamas. We've been invited to a meet in North Carolina. We've been invited to Kentucky. We've been invited to, cause I used to run, I ran national track and field, all over the country, Masters division, coached college and different things. So I know a lot of coaches. I ran up in Toronto a lot. I've run against and I've coached with guys up in Toronto. So we get invited to a lot of international meets, but transportation has always been the problem.
Yeah.
This year, we're looking at getting some more grants and getting some donations where we can take the kids. Like for them to go to the Toronto meet, it was $150. And that included 3 events, the hotel, their food, and transportation. For 2 days and 1 night. That ain't bad at all. That's actually pretty cheap.
And to follow that up, I don't think people understand that although the competition is good, it's the networks that are being built.
Mm-hmm.
And
the competition was great.
Oh, well, but generally it always is because
you had a 12-year-old girl that was running 11.9 in the 100 meters.
Yeah.
And 24, 23-24 in the 200 and 51-52.
Yep.
Another girl was like 14. She ran 51-52 in the 400.
And I can't touch that. Never could.
And man, they had dudes. Like I told you, my kid was number 1 in section 6 in the 400 meters. Yeah. He was ranked number 25. He got down to number 22 in the 5. That's what he ended up running. His time put him at 22. But you had kids running 45, 46, 47, and he was in shock.
That 400
you never seen kids run that fast before.
I ain't gonna lie, that 400 meters.
He never saw kids run that fast. He used to showing up at a meet. He being the number 1 guy with a 48.9.
Yeah.
He got there and he saw with 48.9, he was number 25 out of 28.
That ain't gonna work. I got to get out here and motor. Yeah.
And he ended up running a 48.2, I think he ran. So he PR'd, but he wouldn't have run like that if it was just, like I said, a regular meet. But to be around kids where he know that he could be in a meet with a race with kid running 46 or 47, he had to run.
Yeah, and for people that don't know what PR means or PB, it means personal record or personal best.
Right.
So
that's that track talk.
You back, Dave?
No.
We still can't hear you.
Still can't hear you. Can you unplug it?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I hear you.
All right. There's a lot going on with these kids, and I just did a simple lesson the past week on study skills and organization, and some of the stuff that they say that's going on. And like I always like to mess with them, and I'm thinking about our times, but even still, I always ask them, like, what time y'all go to bed? And these 11-year-olds, 6th graders. And I talked about this before. They like 11, 11:30, 12, 1:30.
I had that same conversation today myself.
And I'm like, really? And it's like, what time should you go to? I said, all 6th graders should go to bed at 9:00. And they look at me like you bugging. 9:00. Like that's what some kid told me I was bugging. He was like, you bugging like 9:00. And I'm like,
Good shows just be coming on.
and I'm like, and y'all understand, like y'all don't have no routines and no organization. Y'all get up. I mean, if y'all do, because I asked them, what's their routine in the evening? And a lot of them like, oh, I go eat. Uh, I, they'll mention taking a shower. I play my video game.
Yeah.
I go outside and play, but they never mention doing any homework
No
or
schoolwork.
anything like that. And then they say, or then they'll say, or they'll go to sleep, and then they say, but then I wake up like 8 or 9, then I'm up to like 2, 3 in the morning, and so we wonder why these are, kids are coming in cranky, irritable, and stuff like that. And unless parents, y'all take these phones and start monitoring this stuff, these are the results that's happening, because they're up, we watching movies on YouTube,
Netflix.
or even if they call themselves dating someone, they boo loving all like on the phone. Like I watched some TikTok video, I was like, yeah, facts, whatever. They was like, so these kids, they want to be the last person you talk to and the first person talk to. So they on the phone, all just holding their phones all night long. Shit, pretty much. Both of them probably snoring and shit. And then they get up and start talking.
You still there?
And this is the stuff that these kids are doing, and it's amazing. And then we wonder why, like, okay, in the classroom, why they not performing? Shit, half of them angry and irritable about everything.
And the parents not monitoring them, like you said.
So we have to do better with that. And then again, like you said, fire sports and stuff, if they get out and they practice or do something, you get better results. But a lot of them, they stuck on those games, and then just the phone period, because they do all this stuff on the phone, and they're not out there being active or whatever the case is.
Right.
Some kids, they got a full slate, they do a lot, but the majority of them, I was like, wow, like it just floors you, like when they
Let me ask you a question, because you work in the schools. Did they, now I saw this grading system, they changed the grading system. Now is that national that they changed it, whereas they don't do the F anymore, you get an E, and a E is like a 40 to 59 or some crazy 21 to 40 or some nonsense.
No, I don't think it's national, but in my school system, they don't have F's. It's E's.
E's.
So A.
And what is considered an A? What's the range for an A? Because they were like 81 to 100 is an A now.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's 90 to
90
99. Yeah, and then B
Buffalo,
is,
I think Buffalo schools, and it may be Niagara Falls too. 81 to 100 is an A. 71 to, it's a 19-point difference. So 71 to 90 is a B. 61 to,
so they watering down this.
Yeah. It's 61 61 is a C. And then 41 to 60 is a D. So you still passing with a 41.
Yeah, so they watering it down. Then when they go to college, then they end up flunking out. And what most schools or people don't teach the standard of academic progress in high school, and let them know that just because you go to college, it ain't guaranteed that you're going to be there for 4 years.
That's right.
It's a certain window that you have to be achieving. You have to be maintaining the standard of academic progress. And if you're not at that level, you'll find yourself on probation, warning. I mean, I hit that probation status and warning status, and then I had to turn things around, whatever, because, I wasn't skillful to have a trade or learned any of those things, or never was taught those things. So I said to myself, shit, what the fuck I'm going to do if this don't work out? I don't have nothing else. So I turned it around. But parents, they don't understand that either. It's standard academic progress.
Yeah, and the parents don't know the work. A lot of times you got a teen parent themselves,
Yep.
So now they're trying to help the kid with homework and the new math and some of the teachers don't even know how to do some of the work.
Yeah. I remember the day I got academically dismissed from Buffalo State. It
They was
was
about to put me on UB, but I wasn't having
it was and it didn't really hit until that September when everybody was going back to class and I wasn't. And I was angry, I was frustrated, I was pissed, but I had nobody to blame but myself. Because at that particular junction, I was old enough, to know what I needed to do. I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Now my saving grace was,
Now where'd you go? Buff State, you said?
Yeah. My saving grace was,
too many women there. Too many fine women at Buff State.
Imagine UB.
Yeah, I just know because my brothers and sisters went to Buff State.
Buff
Too much going on there.
Buff State had a lot of the New York City people, and it was
Yeah.
so small a campus that everybody saw and knew everybody. UB was so spread out, and you had two main campuses. They actually had three
South
campuses.
and North.
Yeah, but you
South
actually
B was too big. It was just too big.
It was too big,
much
so
going on
you
there.
didn't know a lot of people like you would do at Buff State. We used to go to Buff State a lot too, but that was my thing. I hung out with the people from New York City, and that semester, that was my second semester freshman year. I had 3 Fs, a C, and a D.
Oh.
When I moved, I had a .795 average that semester.
God damn.
And I begged and lied and cried and everything. And I was like, just give me one more chance to show I want to be here.
Yeah,
and that next semester, I brought my grades up, but then I ended up going to New York and working. And that's what saved me. I tell people all the time, track and field. Track and field is what saved me because I went to New York City that summer and a friend of mine got me a job there. And when I was living at the YMCA for the summer and they had track meets. And I was off on those days. I said, let me go run the track meet because I used to run in high school and end up going there winning the 100 meters and winning the long jump. And I said, when I go back to UB, I'm going to go out for the track team. And so when I knew I did that, I knew I had to keep my grades up in order to run.
Right.
And that was the motivating factor for me was to run track. I needed to do that. And I ended up doing that and breaking 7+ school records, going to NCAA nationals in the long jump. And that was my way, staying in UB was through track and field.
You got to find something you get hooked on, and with these kids, a lot of times what happens is, say for example, when they play basketball, they do well enough to play the season, then they start slacking up again, and to that point, so they GPA when it's time to apply or get ready to go to college, their grade point average is never right because they take too many time. Well, I'm only going to work during basketball season. I'm only going to do work during football season. And then, the higher what people don't understand, but I know they trying to phase out all these SAT score and ACT. But prior to that, people didn't realize if you have a 3.5, 3.6 high GPA, that's the less you have to score on the SATs. So you don't have to worry about that test. If you can score highly on throughout the your academics, but
and the SAT is just icing on the cake,
right?
And they don't get that. But again, these you don't have people explaining this stuff to the kids, and then the parents aren't pushing. All they do is okay. Here in the 12th grade, I'm getting ready for graduation. They have no clue whether he's even doing homework, like you said, doing homework or up all night on the phone with a girl or whatever the case may be. They have no clue. And then they're upset when they find out the kid ain't graduating. They want to go beat up everybody in the school because they done paid for a graduation party or a suit or whatever the case may be. and the kid ain't done nothing all year. But it's the teacher's fault.
We saw that. We saw that when we ran when I was running the mentoring program. We get parents that will come around at the 40-week, at the beginning of the 40-week marking period, and the son's performing poorly. You said, "Man, there is nothing."
Where you've been other marking periods, exactly.
out at that parent that was out at that club Thursday to Sunday, but they didn't understand the connection I was trying to say. They only they only looked
you
at the
just dogged
surface
black
point.
women. That's why you just want to dog the black women.
No, I didn't even mention black, white, or anything. I just said.
Well, you know they automatically point. I told you they automatically point the finger to themselves. You talking
Yeah.
about black women?
The guilty stand up and they didn't even realize it. They
Dogging
be like,
the black woman.
And like y'all said, reading is fundamental. They was like,
Oh, Lord.
well, clearly you at the club. Where the fuck did you see that I was
Yeah,
at the club?
thank
I
you.
said I strolled through my timeline and I keep seeing these same people talk about how they out living their
club.
best life and all this stuff. Never said I was up in there like that. Then a couple of them I have to do shots at them, but I don't even think they understood that. And I was like, I said something to the effect like, when did you start crawling? And she was like, well, clearly you start crawling before me. She was younger than me, but what I was trying to tell her, your milestones is off. Your ass probably started crawling when you was like 3 or 4.
Thank you.
When you was 3 or 4. You ain't at the timetable that everybody else. Probably ain't used a fork till you was like 5 and stuff like that.
And that's so sad that these kids are so delayed in all their development, and they don't even realize it.
Yeah.
They don't even realize it. The kids, and I was talking to the kids tonight because we were talking about cursive writing, but I was actually talking to somebody like a year ago about this cursive writing, because they don't allow cursive anymore. They don't teach cursive anymore.
right.
But if you look at all of our historical documents,
They're written in that
they're written in cursive writing.
You can't read
Declaration of Independence,
Declaration of
all those articles of writing were in those time periods, 1700s, were all written in cursive writing, and our kids can't read it. Our kids can't read
not
it.
only
They
that,
don't know cursive.
Not only that, you go back to and a lot of people don't know this. They don't know. A lot of people think the U.S. Constitution is an original document, and in context it is, but a lot of the bedrock principles in the Constitution come from the English Magna Carta. That's also written in cursive. So you can't read bedrock principles enough to understand what rights you have. So anybody can tell you anything, and because you can't read, you don't know any better.
They don't know their rights. They don't know the law. That's when my high school program, my mentor program I do in high school, we do a whole section on understanding the law.
Mm-hmm.
Because kids don't understand it. And one of the things I point out to them, I said, how many of you guys have a car? And they raise their hand. I said, how many of you guys have something hanging off of your rearview mirror, like your tassel or something? I said, do you know the police can pull you over for that? Because it's called obstructed driving.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know that. A lot of adults don't know that.
Yeah.
But that's how police can pull you over. You know what I mean? So say they just want to pull you over, they think you might be doing something. They can pull you over. If you have something hanging from that rearview mirror, they can pull you over for obstructed driving, and then consents to search your car, all the other things that they want to do, thinking that you may have drugs or whatever case may be. But you've opened the door because you had that tassel hanging off of your rearview mirror.
But you know what? You talking about the mirror in there when you put something over there? Because actually, I keep my work ID hanging. And it saved me a lot of tickets,
so
whatever.
If they wanted
because
to pull you over, you know what I mean, for just like, okay, what kind of car is he doing? Who is this guy? They could pull you over, and they say, "Do you know why I pulled you over? You're driving obstructed." And they, what am I obstructed? I know I can see it. And they'll say, because you have that hanging off of your mirror. You're not supposed to have anything hanging off that mirror.
Well, I always keep it there because they asses is nosy, and then they always ask, so what do you do? And then I tell them I'm a counselor, and they're like, oh, where at? Then I tell them, they're like, oh. So it changed up the tone.
Right.
At first I was going to get a ticket, but then they find out I work for the school system. Then they like, oh.
They let you slide.
They let me slide.
Right.
So that's why I keep that shit
They
on there.
ask you about that. They ask you about that hanging off the mirror because they see that, because that is their justification for pulling you over.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Once they find out who you were, they're, oh, okay, you good. But if you was that person, you roll down the window, they smell some weed.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I mean? Now they got you where they can go through the search into the car and arrest you for everything else. but it was all built on the premise that you were driving obstructed by having that hanging off your mirror.
What people and this is something that we're going that I want to bring to this platform next year is how music plays into our culture and what we don't quite understand about the messages that were being relayed in the song. There's a group, whether you're a rap fan or not, there's a group called Brand Nubians. Lord Jamal, God Allah, their ex. And what Willie is talking about with something hanging from your rearview mirror is called Probable Cause. And Brand Nubians made a song called Probable Cause. That's something we're going to bring to the platform next year. Music in contemporary America, how it impacts us.
Yeah.
And we could take this to rap, we could take this to folk music, we could take this to rock and roll. There's a song called Fat Bottom Girls, You Make the Rock and Roll Go Round. Everybody has this perception that white guys don't like big behinds.
Oh, please. They like it just as much as we do. They just
so that's something else we're gonna be rolling out. Like I said, in addition to the books, all the stuff we're gonna be bringing to the platform next year. So, hey,
sounds good. Because that's one of the things in my program. Like I said, I do a lot of things in my program. I use Jawaza Kunjufu. I'm sure you guys probably heard of him. Jawaza Kunjufu, I've met, good friend of mine. And I use what is called right brain learning with my kids. We don't do writing. We don't do a lot of writing. We don't do a lot of reading. We do audio books. We do videotapes. We do public speaking, all the things that take away the fear of, what they normally go through in regular education. But one of the things they do when they first walk into the room, and what you were just talking about, I play an instrumental rap song. It could be any rap song that's out or just a rap song. I have it set on my Pandora, and I play an instrumental rap song. When the kids first walk in the room, I'm just putting my stuff together, and I had the music going. They'll walk in, they'll be laughing, talking, making noise, and they'll sit down, and they start hearing the music. And because there's no words, after a while, they just start to sit back. Once they sit back and they're quiet, I turn the music off, and I start the program. And the guy who sits in to monitor the class, he just watches them because
it's fascinating.
I don't have to say sit down, be quiet, anything. I just have the music playing, and I'm act like I'm doing stuff while they're getting situated, getting in their seats. I'm saying, no, don't sit there, sit over there. And they'll get up and sit over there. But what they do is after a while, they sit down and they listen to the music, and because they might know the song, but they don't hear the words, and they just hear the music. Or it might just be a song and they just like the music, but that music calms them down. And once I see where they're all sitting quiet, at the table, then I turn the music off. Hey, how's everybody? Who wants to tell me how their day was? Blah, 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 blah. And we go into the program.
And what a lot of people may not understand with that particular technique, if you're looking to get a child or an adult even.
I do it with all of them. I do it with kids. I do it with
musical genre. That's the way you start.
Yeah. They said music calms the savage beast. And that's where that comes from, because when kids hear music, the first thing they hear is the music. It's not the words. They learn the words later. No. Most of the time it's the beat. That's what catches them. So when they come in the room, I have the music already going, and it'll be an instrumental song. It could be Cardi B, it could be, it could be anybody. And they know the song, or they might know the song because they hear it, they thinking about to hear the words, but they just hear the beat and they be like, and then they'll sit, and like I said, they sit and I just watch them. I'm doing what I'm doing. I act like I'm ripping up tickets or sorting things out. And as they walk in, they hear the music and they just sit down, and after a while they just sit back. And you could try it in your class day with your kids. You'll see. Like I said, no words, just play the music, Pandora, instrumental, rap, hip hop. And they'll, like I said, it'll just calm them down. And after a while, they get so used to you doing it that when they first walk in that room, they'll sit right down. You don't have to go say, sit down, sit down. Every now and then you may have said to one or two kids, but for the most part, most of them come right in and sit down. And I just say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the music. Y'all going to go sit down. I never say anything like that. I just play the music. And first day when they walked in, the music was playing, and they walked in, they looking at me, and I said, y'all can sit right there. And they went and sat down. And I kept on doing what I was doing. They would listen to the music, and all of a sudden you see them just sit back. And once they sit back, turn the music off. Hey, how's everybody? What's your name? And I start having conversation with them, and we take it from there.
Good technique. It probably throw them off. I know I can imagine their faces like, yo, what's going on around here? Like, this is different. Yeah.
But now they're used to it. Like I said, they walk in, they hear the music, and they just be like bopping. They'll sit down and they just listen to the music. And it's funny because then the kid might start talking and they'll be like, shh, be quiet. They'll tell the kid to be quiet. And I'll be like, I just keep on doing what I'm doing. But that's something I've been doing since I started this program in 2015. All my programs, I do that. I'd use that system, even with adults. I'd use the music, and then once you see that, you can see the calmness in the room. And once you see that calmness, turn the music off, and you start having a conversation with them. We do public speaking. Every class, we do something with public speaking, and then we just do different activities with them: self-esteem, self-awareness, public speaking, and helping them to create a better life.
And it's ironic how you do that, because what a lot of people don't realize is this. Not only does it work well, when we were kids, certain shows would come on and the theme music would start, and what would the kids do? They would shut up because they wanted to hear the intro, especially if it was take the Transformers or G.I. Joe. Once that music started, Thundercats, you wanted to hear what was being said in terms of the lyrics.
Because they would hear the music. They knew the music before the words even came on. They hear a song, they're like, oh, they already set up because they know the intro to that song.
Right. And we rarely mention musicians on here, but you look at your James Brown, the Thelonious Monk, what's the other one's name? I'm drawing a blank right now. Miles Davis. And then we can get into people like jazz, like Herb Alford and the Tijuana Brass, all of those groups. And it doesn't matter what your favorite musical genres are. I happen to like a lot of different musical genres. That's why I know I mentioned them on here. Like I mentioned Simon and Garfunkel, but I listen. You can go into my room right now and you'll find everything from classical music to pan flute and everything in between. I have whole concertos and whole things of nothing but 30-40 hours of just classical music that I haven't really sat down. Yeah, it's oddly insane. I have a keyboard upstairs, and that I want to learn how to play, as well as an acoustic guitar that I want to learn too. But those are just things that I want to do. But all of that stuff plays into, how you can get somebody to conduct themselves without saying a whole lot.
Yeah, because these kids, like I said, you got to find where they are and reach them. And like I said, that music, and then like I said, we do public speaking. And that way with public speaking, it's allowing the kids, like I said, I started things like, how was your day? What did you do this weekend? Things that they already know. They're telling you about themselves.
Right.
But they're public speaking, they're talking. So then once you get them to talking, and you have to stand up straight, can't be leaning on the table. I'm teaching them public speaking skills and everything. And then I said, who heard about that story, or who knows about Martin Luther King? Like we were talking about Martin Luther King today. What do you know about Martin Luther King? What did he do? So now you got to stand up and talk about that. So now they're talking about his story. They're talking about, what I mean? So now you get them talking about other things that they know, but it's showing their education as well. So you showing them how to use that as well. So we do a lot of different things with them.
I don't think there's any music that can work my emotions into not. And the reason why I say that is this.
Like I said, we use instrumental hip hop, and if you look at a lot of instrumental music for hip hop was from music from the 50s and 60s.
Right.
That's where that music came from. I was looking at, they were talking about all the different songs that were created from Dionne Warwick. All these songs now that's out that were written by Dionne Warwick. It's a popular girl out no, not Glorilla. What's a girl name? And it's a song by Dionne Warwick.
All of these female rappers.
Yeah, but it's a song by Dionne Warwick, and it's one of the most popular songs out right now. But if you played that music for her song, you would think it was that girl. The kids would think it was that girl. You would think it was Dionne Warwick, because you know who Dionne Warwick is.
Yeah. There's a song that Gangstar used, and down by Cripple Creek, I believe that's the name of it. If it isn't, forgive me. And they sampled that,
Guru,
and they used that, because I remember, like, when I was working security at a place, and depending on what post I was, I would encounter anybody, and I would sit there and I would keep a list of songs that had been played, but that rap used. Case in point, for any Lou Reed fans out there, there's a song called "A Walk on the Wild Side." If you know the song, then you know what I'm talking about.
I think this is a song.
A Tribe Called Quest used that song, except they added a little bit to it.
Okay, here's the song I was talking about. Doja Cat.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Walk on by.
Just be careful, they'll strike the channel for that.
That's Dionne Warwick's song.
Right.
That's Dionne Warwick singing the Walk on By part.
Right. Will, just be careful, they'll strike the channel for it, because you're playing copyrighted music.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
But that's Walk on By Dionne Warwick, and Doja Cat put this song out.
Not only that, who else used it?
Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross did a lot of her songs.
Who else used that, and they did a cover of it?
Walk on By? Oh, I don't know.
Come on.
I have no clue. I just know this because I was watching something, they were talking about it. And they were talking about Luther Vandross, how many songs Luther Vandross did of Dionne Warwick's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Isaac Hayes.
He did a lot of songs by who he sure did. Isaac Hayes did. That's right.
And that's what people see. This is what people, and this is how you get people to expand their musical taste, because you have some people talking about, well, I don't listen to that and I don't listen to this. And I think this is part of what Greg is talking about. The only kind of music that I won't listen to is music that I can't understand the lyrics in. Takes me back to high school. I took electronics, and we had a metalhead. Justin Hills loved that man, and he would used to this heavy grunge music to where I couldn't understand the lyrics. And I'm like, dude, and everybody would look at him and say, "How the hell can you listen to that? You don't know what they're saying." Well, I do know what they're saying, and he would just recite.
Right, because when you listen to it, that's just how these kids are with the mumble rap. They know exactly what the rappers are saying. I have not a clue. I turn it off when I hear it. But that mumble rap, that's something that they understand, and they know the words and, all the nonsense behind it. But that's the music of today. We had
and that's
music,
exactly, Greg.
We had our music growing up. They had their music growing up, and the music changes, some of it. But a lot of that music that they're using is music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah, and that's it's a good question, actually good and a valid question, Greg. And this is what I was talking about, the music when I was talking about earlier, what we're getting into in 2024 is the music and the influence that it has on the culture. Take rap. When rap first came out, there was no such thing as a bad rap song. There was no such thing as a misogynistic rap song. Everything that came out in rap was positive, and it was moving that direction. Now, you have people that'll speculate one way or another for whatever reason that I'm not going to get into here, that they saw the power in the musical genre and they moved to usurp that by influencing and subverting the positive messages by putting out all that stuff that's derogatory, inflammatory, and ultimately it undermines the positive flow of what the music was. So yes, absolutely, music is nothing more than a way to, some people say, to hypnotize somebody.
But I'm looking at this guy's comment here about the versions that are talking crap like bitches. But the thing is, I only play music and songs that I know at least who the rapper is. So I mean, if I don't know the song, but the thing is, I'm not playing the words anyways. The kids don't half the time don't know. They know there's some cursing words in it,
Right.
and that's what gets their attention. Is when they hear the music, they think that that version is about to come up because they look surprised that they, that you hear 2 Chainz or whoever the case may. They might know the song or Cardi B, and it might have some curse words in it, but because it's only the music, after a while they realize that that's what they're listening to is the music. And when I talked to them about studying at home, I said, now, do you think you would get in trouble if you played this version at home while you did your homework?
Right.
And of course they said no, because there's no words, there's no cursing, there's no nothing other than the music, which is what attracts them anyways. I said, so now you could play this instrumental and listen to it while you're doing your homework. But what am I doing? I'm really not talking so much about the music. I'm talking about doing what? Your homework.
And it's also a way
that gives them the motivation to do that.
It's also a way that you can reprogram these kids to detoxify themselves on their own by by doing what Willie's doing and removing the toxic messaging. And you can also put your own. See, what people don't realize about writing music is it doesn't take a special talent to actually write music. And I know some people are going to say, this dude don't know what he's talking about. Hear me out. When you write a song, there's a difference between writing actual music and notes as opposed to just writing lyrics. Right. Half of your songs are written by multiple people. You'll have one person that'll write the music. You'll have one person that'll write the lyrics. You'll have another person that'll compose it. Case in point, you take a street artist. You take one that plays the drums. You take one that plays the sax. They're out there playing music for hours on end. No sheet music. Where is that coming from? They're playing music. They're playing a song, but nobody knows what the song is. Nobody's ever heard it before. But they're hypnotized by it. The chance to say, hey, this sounds good. What is it? I don't know. I just made it up.
Beat.
Yeah,
beats are what attract people. That's why I said I can play any instrumental song. Sometimes I even play jazz when they come in.
And they have no idea.
If it's an up-tempo jazz song and they hear it, they've never heard the song before, but the music is, if they like that beat, they're gonna sit and listen to that beat. And they'll be sitting there patting their hand or patting their feet or whatever the case may be. But the thing is, they're relaxing. And once they relax, I turn it off and I go right into the program. And what I did today was I asked them, I said, what do you like about the program? What don't you like? And that's what we talked about. So this way I get feedback from them as to why they're participating in my program. What don't you like about the program? And they're like, I don't not like anything about it. I like coming here because you do things with us. That's what they said. They said, you do things with us, and a lot of, like I said, everything I do, the classes, I tell you, this is your class. I said, all I do is put out some subjects and I let you guys do and talk about what you want to talk about. And that's what I do. So it's allowing them the freedom to, and now when they get off track, sometimes, of course, I step in and, bring them back on pace, or I may ask a question to put them back on pace. But the thing is, for the most part, they get to talk about the things that they want to talk about. They get to talk about the subjects, and they get to bring up points, or if somebody else is talking and stand up speaking, they get to ask that person questions about what they're talking about or even correct them. Like one day we did something on what do you do? I gave them hygiene kits, and I said, I want you to stand up and use 3 or 4 things out of the hygiene kit and describe how you get up and use them in the morning. Yeah. And that was our public speaking presentation. And you had a kid say, well, wait a minute, you didn't brush your teeth, because the kid present and he didn't say he brushed his teeth. So wait a minute, you're not going to brush your teeth, so then they put him on point for that, and what about deodorant? Did you put on deodorant? And so they're back and forth. But what they're doing is teaching each other the things need to be done for hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
And
you're
it
doing
showed that
those
they was
things,
paying attention too. The other
right?
ones was calling them
Right.
out
And
on
and
that they
that's what the thing is. You have to listen to the other person. I said, "Cause I need you to listen, so that way, if it's something he missing, you can tell him." And then they talking to each other, and I sit back and I just listen to them. I just sit back and listen. One of the things I did was 2 weeks ago, I showed them how to make deodorant and toothpaste.
Mm.
And so we did that with coconut oil and baking soda. And both of them can be used for the same thing, toothpaste and for deodorant. And of course, they never heard of it. And when we made it, they made it and they took it home. But if you go and you get the toothpaste that's in your cabinets right now, and you
Baking
read
soda is
the
the
back
main
of it,
ingredient in a lot of them.
yeah, you read the back of them. If it has fluoride in it, on the bottom of it, it says, if swallowed, a certain amount is swallowed, please call poison control.
Mm-hmm.
That's on every fluoride toothpaste,
Yes, sir.
and not for children under 2. And why isn't it not for children under 2? Because children under 2, they like the sweetness. They don't brush their teeth. What they do, they suck on it and they swallow the toothpaste because it tastes sweet to them. So what are they doing? They're swallowing poison. That's why they say it's not meant for children under 2. Do not give children under 2. And if it's a child under 6, make sure that he's brushing properly so he doesn't swallow too much of the fluoride toothpaste.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't pay attention to that stuff. And those are the things I teach the kids, and I show them, this is why we're not using, this is why I'm teaching you how to make toothpaste and how to make deodorant, because there's things in the deodorant that affects your body. And there's in the toothpaste that affects your body. But
absolutely,
coconut oil and baking soda, the coconut oil helps to seal so you don't sweat so much. And the baking soda, like you do in the refrigerator, kills the odor.
Yeah.
It kills the odors.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned how to do that off of just watching social media and doing stuff. So I use that in my programs. I teach the kids how to make those things. And now you got toothpaste and baking soda that you can use.
You want to know what's funny, Willie? You said you learned that off of social media. I do not. I know how this is going to sound. I do not use toilet cleaners to clean my toilet.
What do you mean toilet cleaners?
The Lysol.
Oh, no. Those things are poisonous anyways.
Yeah. I use regular old-fashioned Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Really? Mm-hmm. I know you can use vinegar and white vinegar and things like that.
You can. I just Kool-Aid.
Really? I never heard Kool-Aid.
And I get a kind that doesn't stain the porcelain. I use, it's lemon something, and you put it in there. And the funny thing about it is I have to remind myself that when I put it in there and I go to the bathroom, that is not me when I'm going to the bathroom that's getting that smell. Because if you're deficient in water, your urine will smell a certain way. Health tip.
I never heard
it'll smell almost the same way.
That's interesting. Kool-Aid. I check in that. But I used to work in Church's Chicken, and they taught us to use white vinegar.
Yeah.
That's what kills the grease. So that way your floors don't be slippery.
Absolutely.
From the stuff, So you use water and vinegar, and you would mop the floors with the cleaner, and then you put the water and vinegar together and mop them again with that, and that kills the grease. So, I mean, like I said, I learned a lot of stuff, and I use that with the kids to teach them how. But that toothpaste and that deodorant is
game changers.
Yeah, because the when you use it as a toothpaste, that coconut oil actually massages the gums, and the baking soda seals it so your gums don't bleed and all that stuff like you see kids doing. So it does a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff, and it kills the breath odor. Again, because you're using the baking soda. So I mean, like I said, I do a lot of things with the kids and teach them just some new, I give them some ideas on things, and I enjoy it. I get a kick out of it.
I think it's all important to do something different, to shake things up sometime, even when you say the music, because most of them going to come in and they're going to be looking like, okay, this is different. So it's kind of, they're probably going to take a step back from their normal behavior of hitting each other, running around.
Exactly.
And don't let, they were like, okay, you got music going on here. let me stop. Let me see what's going on. They got to
You know,
survey the area to see what's going on. So it automatically kind of distracts them from being distractible.
yeah.
And they kind
And you
of
know what they also
stop.
do? They tell other kids too. They tell other kids about what they're doing down there.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then other
those
kids
kids, you
want
know
to
what
be
I
a
mean?
part
Because
of
then
it.
those kids want to come and they
Yeah.
participate.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we be down there. We do a raffle because what I do at the end of each class, we do a raffle. So every time you participate, you get a raffle ticket. And then at the end of the night, we do a raffle. In each raffle, we do 3 raffles, and the winner gets $2 from each raffle.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
do a $2 raffle. We do 3 raffles. But tonight we did a raffle where we still did the $6, but I did 2 $3 raffles. But then they also had the choice of those gifts. I told you we had Uno, we had the Rubik's cubes, we had 3 Rubik's cubes, and we had like some big box games, some different games and stuff. I didn't know some of the games, but the kids were able to pick whenever they raffle. And we did about, I want to say, this is no exaggeration, maybe about 10 raffles tonight, plus the $6. And so we just, we were eating pizza, and I had pizza and drinks. And so they're eating their pizza and drinks. They had their raffle tickets from the participation and things we did. And then they come up and they pick the gifts that they wanted. And they had things that they could take home, and have at least a game. Each kid won at least one gift. So it was something that they could take home and have something, whether they have something from the parents or not, they have something at home that they could have to, play at home with.
Yeah.
A lot of good ideas. A lot of good ideas. And if people listening, parents listening, these are the type of programs you want your kids to be involved with. Everything isn't about basketball and football.
Exactly.
It's only such a small percentage of people who make it in that. I mean, you have other sports areas, you have other different things, wrestling, you have debate clubs and different things of that nature. All of this stuff could propel your child to go on and do bigger and better things. We got to stop thinking because that's what we see. The cool football players, the cool basketball players. Meanwhile, like I said, the debate team, if somebody can debate, if a kid learn that skill, that can open up anything to be a lawyer or any type of negotiator or any type of thing. So if at a young age, if they master that craft, shit, ain't nobody going against them. Ain't nobody trying to compete with that. Hey, they may want to decide they want to run to be a president or have a big position or something like that. So these are skills that could be taught as well. You just got to know your child and know, like, okay, this is their strength. Because sometimes I hate to bust y'all bubbles, whatever. Not everybody, not all kids are athletic.
Thank you.
And
they not all going to the pros.
Yeah, so we need
Hell,
to
half of
let
them,
that notion
half
go.
of them won't make it in college as an athlete, let alone the pros. So,
but you better find them other skills that they have.
Exactly.
And again, we always talk about trades and all that stuff. They can make a good living if you.
I do that in my high school program. I do the trades, and like I said, I have. Show you my high school book. Hold on one second.
Yeah, so we got you got to pay attention to certain things, and some kids not cut for college.
This is I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Can you see it? I don't know. Probably because I got this background. Let me turn this background off so I can show you my background. None. Okay. Now, like if you look at my background, like you'll see some of my books up there, but this is the middle school book that I was telling you guys about. This is the middle school book we do. This is from 5th grade to 8th grade, and this is the high school book that we use. You see that? And this is the high school, and this is the one that has, like I said, the learning the laws and dress for success, nutrition, exercising. We do a lot of different things in the high school book that stock market, real estate subjects. We do a lot of things that help kids, vocational education, knowing the law. We do those things because as they get older, those are the things they need to prepare for, so that's why that book is so different and is geared towards them, not only just being in high school, but after high school, give them some ideas. But the middle school book is the basic stuff: hygiene, nutrition, self-awareness, dress for success, savings, all those kind of things. And because the kids need it, man. I asked them, I said, what's 10% of $1? They look at me like, no clue. No clue. I said, so if you want to save, I said, most people say, have you ever been to church? The church say give 10% of your earnings. You need to know what 10% is. And I said, what's 10% of $1? They had no clue what. I said, what's 10% of $10? Somebody give you $10 and they say, give us 10% back. How much are you giving them back to put in your savings? No clue. And so we did that the last couple of weeks, teaching them the percentage. And then in the book, it has a chart that shows them what 10% of $1 is, 10%, 10% of $10 is. So that way they'll know in case somebody gave them that money, they want to save that under that premise. And it shows 15% and 20% also.
Good stuff. Good, valuable information that, to be honest, is kind of, those are the things kids need. I mean, to learn, and those are critical life skills that most kids are not getting, and then we wonder why we have what we have. And I keep on saying, 50% academics, 50% social. You have to implement this stuff in to make them well balanced. It doesn't matter if you have a 4.0 and you can't communicate with anybody, or you can't handle or can't problem solve, or somebody look at you the wrong way and you're talking about killing yourself or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And most people probably don't know, even looking at data and stuff from my district, like most kids that like suicidal and all that stuff, like the highest level, like the most, not targeted, but the highest level that it occurs, like 5th graders out of all. Like, so you're talking about 10-year-old. Wow. Like, why is a 10-year-old threatening to harm themselves or whatever the case is? These little babies. These little babies do whatever that still should be playing with toys and all that stuff. Already. Yeah. So that's the need. So for parents who think, okay, I'm just going to give them a laptop or a tablet or something and throw them in front of that, these kids know how to navigate that stuff. You don't know what the hell they be watching.
Thank you.
Need to become more involved. Find out what they're doing.
Talking about Netflix. I'm like, what do you mean Netflix? What are you doing watching Netflix?
It's critical out here. So, like we said, 2024, it's time to hit on the head.
Yes.
If you can't take it, I don't know what to tell you, whatever. Then you can continue, I guess, like Willie said, going around telling people, "Oh, don't say nothing to him. Don't have a drink with him. No, he went because he said this, he said that, or whatever." Because he probably made you feel uncomfortable about something, and that means you'll grow. People don't want to grow.
They don't want to grow.
So that's the angle it's time to come at in 2024. Damn all this other little slapping on the wrist type shit. Y'all about to curl up in their fetal positions at night like, damn, they was talking about me.
They always talk about people.
Hey. And nobody's admitting that. None of us saying we're perfect and all that stuff. We learn from each other. Some of the stuff Herb share, I don't know. Some of the stuff Willie share, I don't know. But I take it in,
exactly.
and I'm not gonna condemn them for it. I don't know what the fuck they talking about or whatever. You're gonna learn.
Exactly.
You're gonna learn. If it ain't harmful, you learn from it. You take bits and pieces from everybody. Even the person that they lowest can teach you something.
That's true. That's true.
What is the
But
adage? What's the difference between a wise man and a fool? A fool learns from no one. A wise man learns from anyone.
Everyone. That's right.
we
Never
don't
stop
get ready.
learning.
Don't get ready to close it out.
All
And
right.
Greg asked a question that I want to that I'll
ahead.
address.
go ahead, handle.
He says, "Tough question. Do you encourage the kids to not do what you did that ended up with you almost flunking out?" I think that might be for you, Willie.
I don't do that with my middle school kids. I talk about it with my high school kids because they're getting closer to the age where they're looking at going to college and things like that. What I do is I share a story with them. You guys know I share stories. So I share a story with them like I sort of did with you guys, talking about, going and moving on campus and hanging out with kids from New York City.
Mhm.
And as a result of that, I was hanging out more than going to class. And next thing I know, I had a .795 average. I had 3 F's, a C, and a D. I said, and I had to decide what I was going to do because also, like I talk about, I moved out when I was 15 years old, 16 years old. Had a kid when I was in college. My freshman year, I got a daughter at home. So now, do I want to flunk out of school and figure out how I'm going to take care of my daughter, or am I going to figure out how to get them to let me stay in school and get this degree, which is what I told my stepfather I would do in order for him to teach me how to buy real estate. So, I mean, it was a lot of different factors. And so I share that with them. So that way, when I close out with them, I said, we all make mistakes. I said, but we can make mistakes, but sometimes you have to realize that you can make a mistake and still make something out of your life. Right. You don't just give up because you made a mistake. You're not going to do everything right. You're not going to do everything wrong. But when you do realize you made a mistake, the goal is to figure out how not to make that mistake again, because you already see what can happen to you. So getting them to think, again, everything I do is about getting them to think and understand who they are. We use what's called the 4 W's to success, understanding who you are, where you're trying to go, what is it going to take for you to get there, and then why are you willing to commit to the goal that you made. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, you can do that in every situation in your life, whether it's a relationship. Who am I in this relationship? Why did I pick this person? Where are we trying to go? What is it going to take for us to make it? And why did I pick that person? You know what I mean? So you can use the 4 W's in anything and any goal that you set in life. Why did I pick this job? Why do I want this degree? And then it helps you to create that roadmap to being successful in it. So I use that a lot with my kids in the high school program. The middle school kids, we do more of the public speaking and just getting them to understand who they are, understand, who they are as an individual young person, what they like, what they dislike. Why do you like school? What don't you like about school? What can you do to make it better? Those kind of things, getting them to think about some of their actions, those kind of things. We do an activity called Winning Ways, Winning Words, and Winning Actions. A winning word is please and thank you, and the winning action is a smile. If you look at especially our young boys, they don't smile. And showing them how a smile can win somebody over, and to go home and practice their smile so they don't walk around looking like they need to be locked up somewhere and making fun of it, and then what we do is we do that with them. And then I say, you got to go, and during the week, I need you to smile and say please and thank you and see how people respond to you. And then when you come back next Monday, you tell us what happened and how they responded. And you see such a difference in because they never thought about, they may say please and thank you sometimes, but to actually do it with the intention of seeing how somebody's going to respond to them and then smiling, they come back with a different mindset.
Yeah, always tell a story.
To add to that, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
That smile goes a long way.
Long way.
And sometimes we talk about people watching. Sometimes our student watching. You just see certain dudes how they move, and a lot of the girls come to me, the young ladies, and I'll tell them who y'all need to be talking to is this guy. Even though at middle school they shouldn't be really talking to anybody, but they do. but I just try to let them know. And
Mhm.
certain boys got it. Certain boys got it. They they smile.
Charisma,
They
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, they come up, but they may hug the female staff, whatever, give them a little hug, not being
Mhm.
mannish or anything, just how you
Right,
doing,
right, right.
whatever. And I'm like, and then this one particular kid, I was like, yeah, I like his little style. Like
Mhm.
he got it. He's working it, whatever. He just needs somebody to hone him in and keep working with them. But some kids, you can see it. I wasn't the type to smile. I didn't realize the importance of a smile till I got to college, and
That's
I
where I
used to
was.
walk
I was
around
college when
with
I
a
learned too.
screw
Yep.
facing
Yep.
to one of the deans, and then she ended up being like the vice president of student life. She stopped me one day and she was like, "Hey, I see you all the time. You have this scowl on your face
Mhm.
all the
Make
time."
people afraid to talk
Yeah,
to you.
she said, "But then if I speak to you, then you smile, and then you see the little things, the little dimple things," and I was like, "Wow, why doesn't he do that more
More
often?"
often.
And after that, she became one of my biggest advocates. So I never anything I wanted. Like at the end of I think my sophomore year, she was like, "Anything you need, David? Anything you need?" I said, "I need a job for the summer." Monday, I had a job. Uh, so
And
that's
imagine
the
that just
importance
from a
of it.
smile, just from showing
Yeah.
that smile instead of a frown. Like you said, we walk around trying to be the tough guy and not look hard
Yeah.
because you don't want to look soft. And just showing a smile like that. And that's what I show these kids in the program. I do that with all my kids, middle school and high school. Just a smile, how you can win people over. I say, when you walk into a room and you're looking for somewhere to sit, are you gonna go sit with the person that's smiling or look, friendly, or are you gonna go sit with the person who's looking mean like you might be looking?
I'm
Now,
looking a mean person because I don't smile, but that's just me. And I
yeah,
always tell people, I don't rarely, and I'm accused of that all the time. And I said, you know what? I've never been a smiling type of person because I'm self-conscious because I'm missing like 6 teeth.
yeah. But and that's what I said. That's why I tell them to go home and practice their smile. That's why I
Oh no,
said,
no, no. But I tell people, I said, the moment I speak, you understand who I am.
yeah.
And that's what people, because the reason why a lot of people want you to smile is because it's inviting to them.
Right.
It
That's
makes you
what I'm saying.
seem,
That's what opens the door to people will be
yeah,
receptive to you. So
yeah,
that's why, like I said, so say for example, I may have a kid that might have a gap in his mouth, like me, or even wider. Now he may not want to show that, smile like that. I have a friend of mine that has a young lady. She has like really crooked teeth. Now, but she's learned how to smile where she doesn't show her teeth like that. You know what I mean? So that's why when I'm with them, I say, and you're going to go home and you're going to practice your smile. I said, so this way, when you come in, you're comfortable with the smile that's on your face.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what, so getting them comfortable with smiling, getting them comfortable with saying please and thank you, those kind of things, winning words and winning actions and showing them how to use those things.
Yeah, absolutely. But that, like I said, that's just a Herbert thing. I don't. The one thing I never, and I've learned this over the years. The one thing I never tell anyone to do is smile. I never say, because it almost, in a sense, robs them of self-determination. And to Greg's question, the best decision anybody can make is when they're informed. So I would never tell a student, don't do what I did.
Yeah, I was reading that, and it says, "Do not do what I did." I've never told a kid, "Do not do what I did," because that's not my place to
Right.
tell them what to do and what not to do. It's my
Right.
place to help them to understand who they are,
Yeah.
and that sometimes you're going to make mistakes, but
Correct.
then you have to learn and
Correct.
to do better from those mistakes.
Yeah.
And I share my mistakes, and I share some of my incidents with them, and then I tell them how I overcame them.
Correct.
So again, but I never tell a kid, don't do like me, don't be like me, don't, I was suspended over 26 times when I was in school. I don't tell a kid, well, don't get suspended 26 times. I was suspended 26 times, and this is what happened, and this what happened. But the thing is, I'm not telling them not to get suspended. I'm not telling them to get suspended, because some are going to get suspended, but now at least they know they can make that mistake and still come back to school and still continue to do better, because they're not going to get 26 times like me. But that 1 or 2 times that they might get suspended, they might be like, I don't want to be like Mr. Price, so I better straighten up my act.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
I never
how you
tell kids
them
don't do like me,
right.
or don't make the mistakes that I make, you know, because then when you start to do things like that, you're putting your mindset and your beliefs and your ideologies on a child that you don't know where that child is coming from. You don't know what that child is going through. All you're doing is taking them and letting them know that sometimes we're going to make mistakes, but it's up to you to figure out, once you did make that mistake, are you going to do something to correct it, or are you going to repeat that mistake?
Right. Yep. I concur.
Missed the last few parts. It sounded like I already know what y'all are talking about. But
Yeah, we were just talking about, we're reading what the guy had put about telling kids don't do like I did, and that's definitely not in my programs. Other people may do, you know, but like I said, I study. I don't know if Greg, if you may need to pick up a few books of Jawanza Kunjufu and read his theories and understand who he is, or if you even know who he is, but that may be something you may want to look at and understand how you relate to children without making them feel like you're pointing them out or making them feel bad for the mistakes that they've made in life. What you do is you use your own examples and you share what you want to share, but you have a story behind or a moral behind it, where you know how you did better from it or what the outcome was, so that way they can see that, you know, some things turn out one way, some things may not turn out another way, but at least you have some idea that you can make a mistake in life and still do better.
And you know what? They'll keep coming back. The art of storytelling is so powerful.
It is.
The sharing
I do it all the
stories,
time.
whatever. And I know for me, it is funny. Like I said, the young ladies come to me, and I share them some of the experiences I went through. And even though sometimes I'll be talking, they be like, "Mr. Glover, what you jibber jabbing about?" and they'll say that, but I know they're listening
Of
because
course.
2 weeks later they'll bring up something I said. Oh, remember you said that, whatever. So I know they're listening. I'm like, man, I'm just here trying to tell you a story. I know. This and that. You, she's like, yeah, you think you all that or whatever. I was like, it's not about that. It's just like sharing certain situations and understanding. Like, I'm just trying to let you know, like, I can probably forecast what's going to happen when you telling me your situations and how it's going to play out. And then when they realize it play out, they come, you know what, you did when you said that, it did happen. You was right, but that's what keeps them coming back.
Because like you said, the fact that you're sharing a story or an experience, and they come back weeks later and tell you what you said or share with you a similar experience or whatever the case may be, that shows you that they are listening and that they take what you're presenting to them and using it. You know, it's not just you talking, but they're actually listening to what you said. You know, he did say that. You know, he did say something like that. You know, and now they're using it in their own life, and that's what you have to do, because you can't make them feel bad for something they've done. You know, because then they will shy away from you. They will shy away from you, because then they say, "Oh, every time I tell you something, you coming at me."
Yeah, and that's true. It's the way you deliver the message and the way that you come. You can't be that type in your face pointing, or
Exactly.
you so stupid for doing this or doing that. You might find a similar situation that you did. Like, I remember I did something similar to that, and then they're like, "Well, what happened?" Or how did that work out for you? Or whatever the case is. And then they're like, okay, like
that learning moment.
You could get through this. You could get through this. So it's a lot
and see, they get
tricks.
that finger pointing and that persecution at home. Yeah. You know, they get that at home. So if they get it from you, now they don't want to come to school. They don't want to go home. They don't want to hear anything you got to say. But when you listen to them and sharing with them, that can change a kid's life, man, for forever.
Gotta give people safe spaces to talk to, and that's the
Yep.
same thing with adults. We talk about men need to have safe spaces. Um, Women often have it, maybe to their own fault. They talk too much, whatever, uh, amongst each other. But guys gotta have a safe space. But too often we don't have a safe space because you
Right.
share certain things that you're vulnerable about. Then you have some clown ass friends who
Thank
want
you.
to
They go back and
clown you
tell it.
for that.
Yep.
Make it seem like you're weak or whatever, then you're like, you know what? Never mind. And then that's why a lot of guys keep shit bottled up inside when they can release all this stuff. If you only had one or two buddies that say, you know what? Just let people feel how they feel. Let them feel how they
Women do.
feel.
Women have those groups. You know,
Yeah.
like you said, women have those groups, and they get together and they do all that, cry on each other's shoulder. That men, that's not a man's type of thing. That's not a man's type of thing. Women are emotional. Men are rational, and women are irrational. Too irrational sometimes.
Like you couldn't growing up younger, you couldn't say really, even if you felt you were at a disadvantage in a relationship as a guy, you couldn't say, man, I like her, I really like
Mhm.
her. You would get
Mhm.
clowned for that, like, you for real?
Yep.
She ain't such and such, or if she playing you or whatever
Yep.
the case is. But
Yep.
you couldn't put that out there, like. But a girl could say that, I like
Oh
him,
yeah,
I love him,
I
or
love
whatever
it.
the case is. A guy can't do that,
You
like,
ain't
man,
run
I
back
love
telling your
her.
fellas, "Yo, man, I love her, man." What? Dude, what's wrong with you?
So this is why if you think about it, we have imbalances in relationships where women may be willing to say how they feel, and guys are like,
And then they want
no, they
they
ain't
want you
cool.
to say the same thing back to them, and
Yeah,
that's where the conflicts develop because
yeah,
they want you to say the same feeling. I love you too, and that's not, you know what I mean?
hmm
That's not us. That's not a man. A man's thing isn't I love you, but he shows you. He'll show you he loves you. He goes through actions. You know, he'll give you things. He'll make sure you feel safe and secure. But to say I love you, and he may even say I love you, but it's not with a bunch of emotion and y'all hugged up and crying on each other's shoulder and some old craziness like that.
So, and again, these conversations are important. Again, I always say we need to have them. We need to
Yeah.
have them face to face, whatever. We need to be in a room, a big
Mhm.
damn room, and just going back and forth and throwing these ideas out there. That should be the new format of going out for older people, people in their 40s and 50s. Or like, oh, they having this talk, they having this conversation tonight here. Cocktails, appetizers, whatever. These are the subjects, whatever. You do that, you'll bring a lot of people together. A lot of
Yeah.
people end up walking out them rooms having different interests in
You would
people
need
because
security.
stuff is drawn out.
Buying stuff off their
Yeah, you
shoulder.
may very well need security for some people, but some people may walk away interested in somebody that they like. Damn, I like what she said, or damn, I didn't know
Mhm.
he felt this way about this subject. But
Yeah.
got to put it out there. Got to have them.
Fellas,
Got to go. We got
gotta
to get
go.
ready to go. Closing comments.
That's it. Well, I'll
Willie.
close out.
2024
I'll
is gonna
close out
be a
first.
different year.
I'll close out first. Again, like I said, I just wanted to come on tonight. I do miss hanging out with you guys. I'm glad you allowed me to come on and spend a little time. And I'm surprised none of the ladies popped on here. It's been a while since I've been on here, so I don't know how many ladies
They'll
still
be
come
back.
on.
They'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah, they might heard Willie Price was on the show. I'm going next week. I know he was talking some stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like I said, going into the new year, I'm working on some things and I'll come back. And I'm not going to be a regular, but I'll come back and hang out with you guys. And I do stop in periodically and see what y'all talking about. But I just been so busy, like I said, this last year, just trying to finish up some things. But I really enjoyed this. I thank you guys for allowing me to come back on and pop on and see your faces and have some good conversations. It's been a long time since I've been able to do that. And God bless you guys. Happy New Year and Happy New Year's to everybody out there. And I will definitely be seeing you guys in 2024, God willing.
Yeah.
Same to you, man. And you know, whenever you have something going on, pull us. If you got something you feel like we can, I ain't know. I got enough time at work that I can come up. I can pull up whatever. I just be needing reasons to come up. And if you
Look,
ever need somebody for our expertise or whatever we got going, hey man,
I'm gonna
it
put
ain't
something
nothing.
together. I'll put some stuff together that and we can all sit down and maybe do something, and put some event together where we can work with either men and young men. Bring the men because my program's called From Boys to Men. So if
Okay.
we can get a group of us men together and bring a group of young men together from boys to men, and we have some conversations and do some interaction with these young men, because especially here in Niagara Falls, they don't see it. They don't have that positive interaction with men and positive men that are doing things in the community or doing things in a career. And so they can only emulate what they see. So we need to
And
give them
it's
some
funny you
things
say
that
that
they
because we
can
were
see.
just discussing this last week.
So
Literally, we were just
I'm
discussing this
definitely
last
down
week.
for that.
Yeah, well, I'm here. Whatever. Just let us know. Don't just because somebody may be out of town, whatever, don't mean we
Yeah,
ain't gonna
we'll
come
figure it
back
out.
and support our hometown, whatever, all day long. And that's embedded in me, whatever, to help them out. Because a lot of them are still my little knucklehead cousins and all of that. I might not know them like that, but still related, still family, and we still gotta try to make the best for them. So I
So,
appreciate you coming through, whatever. It's
Yeah.
been a while, but everybody love a Willie moment, man. You already know that, man. Everybody loves a Willie moment. Appreciate you, brother. Happy holidays, and be safe, be well, and continue pushing forward. And make sure you work that CAP program. You the only
definitely.
one. You
Yeah.
you the only one. So it only could go up, and you could kill the game and put other people
I'm
on.
gonna be doing some trainings too. I got to go back in January to take trainer, and when I take that, then that will allow me to train, because the lady who taught the class for me was 74 years old. And she was
Wow.
like, "We need you to teach the class because I'm 74 years old and I'm not going to be here teaching much longer."
Yeah.
So I will be teaching the class in 2024, later on in the year. Right now, I'm just trying to get information out about it and make people more aware of it.
That's what's up, man. Let us know, whatever. We
Definitely.
here. Appreciate you, brother.
2024, boy, it's gonna be a barn burner. Put the kids to bed, women, buckle your chin straps, guys. If you're for the faint heart, you might need to buckle your chin strap too. If fellas with your hard hats, get ready, because it's gonna be some sphincter clenching moments. Okay, and if you don't know what a sphincter is, look it up. And as always, growth and understanding occurs in the gray area. Godspeed. See you next year.
Yeah, and I might piggyback after her, but I try to keep names out of it. I might start calling out names. Some guys, whatever, some guys from Falls always want to lean into. Well, her probably know who it is on the post, whatever. Always want to lean toward what he think is right if he cheerlead for the women. That's gonna get called out in 2024, and you're gonna want to tune in. People gonna want to tune in and say, "Damn, did they bring us up? Did they bring us up?" Because I'm gonna start collecting data on the posts, whatever. And remember, remember the segment of her we used to say, "You need counseling." I'm gonna start pulling people out on these posts, whatever. And people gonna want to tune in. Like, damn, did they call me out? But no, that's where it's at. 2024, it's a lot of stuff shifting through my head. Actually, even in my job, the building is not about to close down. They're gonna use it for other things, but we about to move to a whole new state of art facility
Oh, wow.
and new school and stuff like that. But I'm like, I'm happy to be there, but I'm like, man, I got something else got to give. I got to get multiple streams of incomes. I wrote the books and all that stuff, but books is what it is. It's as much as you promote it, unless you are already rich and famous and people just buying your books just to be buying it. But you need consistent streams of income, especially as you get older. And I'm really thinking like, what's the next move? because I'm not about to be 65, 66 as a counselor in the school. That don't even go together. They don't even go together with this young generation. I still have a little relevance right now, and they still view me as cool, but when will that change? I don't even want to be there for that to happen, so I have to figure out. So 2024 is a lot of brainstorming and trying to figure out what's the next move. And hey, but the one thing, like I said to Willa, we can all collaborate when we have something and bring our talents together. Hey, we can win championships when we bring our talents together. And that's what we got to start thinking more of, collaboration. Ain't no hateration or whatever in the game. It's time to just start bringing talents together to try to get through, especially as we get older. Let them young people squabble that out, whatever, hate on each other. As we get older, as older men, we got to bring our talents together and work toward a common goal in making the community and families and all that stuff better. So that's my closing comment. So everybody, again, be safe, be well, be mindful. These people still out here grinding, still being crazy during Christmas time. Be safe, women. Do not go out by yourself like that. Think you about to shop up something by yourself with people lurking around. Make sure you have somebody with you and try to get that stuff during take care of that during the day, whatever. Don't be running out at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Taser if you can find one.
Yeah, you need something because these people get real grimy. And do not leave these gifts in your car and all of that shit, trying to hide them from kids so people could walk through, look through there, and break into your vehicle and all that stuff, whatever.
Yep.
You find another
and I will
spot.
tell you, that's real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cut in. I was walking home a couple weeks ago, and in the parking lot, I will not mention where, there was a window of a out-of-town car smashed. I don't know if anything was taken, so it's real. And it's getting that time and people are desperate. So be mindful.
Yeah, take it over to your sister's house, cousin house, or something. Don't leave it in your car, because people constantly walking up, looking in your car, seeing what they could take, because they already know the game that is hidden in the car. They really want to get into that damn trunk, because they really figure that's where it's at. So just be safe, be mindful, everybody. Just
And
stay
also,
blessed.
something else. If you are looking for a place to store your presents, get together with some family members, friends, and rent a storage location for the month or for the week or whatever it is. It is in a safe, secure place. You don't have to worry. You can go as often as you want to, put stuff there, just make sure you have it marked who's where and what's what. And you can save all yourself some headache.
Yeah, and that might be the better thing, because shit, you take something over your sister's house or a relative house, they asked and robbed you, or somebody that came and you missing something, or whatever the case is. Storage place, you go in there. No, seriously.
Jackie your stuff.
For real. And you go into a storage place, you got the key, you go in there, and then you load it up. All right, let me get this at night, and put it back in the car, and then everything is set. Put it under the tree. If you into all of that.
Right.
And I know a lot of people are. So it's not that, it's not that costly to rent a little storage space for, I don't know, $29, $39 a month, or whatever the case is, for those few weeks to make sure your stuff is secure. Because shit, it could be your own that, like, oh, what happened to this spot? I don't know, where is that? I ain't seen it. Are you sure you had it? You sure you brought that in here? But all right, good people. Yeah, I ain't seen nothing, whatever. All right, y'all be good, be well. We'll talk to y'all soon.
I'll take care, man.
Yeah, take
All
care.
right, peace.
Bye.
All right.